event, and we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I'm Doug Brown. In the first half of his life, OJ Simpson was a football star, a popular actor, and successful pitchman. But most of the second half of his life was spent as a murder suspect and a prisoner. OJ Simpson has died in Las Vegas of prostate cancer. He was 76. Ippei Mitsuhara, Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, now faces federal bank fraud charges. U.S. Attorney for Los Angeles, Martin Estrada.
Mr. Mitsuhara used and abused that position of trust in order to take advantage of Mr. Ohtani. Mr. Mitsuhara used and abused that position of trust in order to plunder Mr. Ohtani's bank account to the tune of over $16 million.
U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada, who also says there was no evidence Ohtani had any knowledge of Mitsuhara's gambling. First round of the Masters continuing right now live on ESPN. Bryson DeChambeau, the leader at 7 under by 3 over a group of 3 golfers, including Danny Willett. Tiger Woods just started his first round.
Feeling great starts with a great shave, and great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. That's Barbasol Shaving Cream, an American classic for over 100 years. Close Shave America, Close Shave Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Ton to do today. Talk some LSU, Tennessee, and baseball. Head up to Rocky Top in about 15 minutes. Gordon McKernan in studio 1 hour from right now. Talk some NIL. Kendall Rogers here in hour 3. Momma Scone will be here. That's right. That no good scoundrel. That poop-talking muckety-muck mother of mine who spent an entire year peacocking after she beat me in the bracket challenge. I got news for you. You want to know what's going to happen this time?
What's going to happen this time?
Oh, I am going to rub it in her face because I crushed my mom in the bracket challenge this year. Get ready.
It didn't work out for St. Mary's.
That's coming up hour number 3. Yeah. Take that, Mama Scone. People are going to say, oh, it's your mom. You should be nice. People are going to say, oh, it's your mom. You should be nice.
If they are. What are you going to say?
People are going to say, oh, it's your mom.
Oh, it's your mom. You should be nice.
No. This is competition. I'll dunk on my mom in her face. It means scoring to win. That's what I do. Got too many people in this world who don't care about winning anymore. Everybody gets a trophy and all that stuff. Hell with that. We're going to compete. I'm competing to win. Take that, Mama Scone. In your face. I'm going to tell her that to her face when she's here. Well, not literally to her face because she can be on the phone. Muse, it's radio. Like, you can't just nod. You have to say a word for people to understand.
I wasn't going to interrupt you. I was going to say the same thing you were going to say.
I was interacting with you.
But I was going to say the same thing you were going to say. I'm not just going to interrupt you to repeat what you're saying in the moment. That would be counterproductive to the whole thing.
It's a conversation, Muse. I'm just ready. Oh,
I can tell.
So sad. OJ died.
Hey, Twitter. Well,
Actually,
no, not Twitter. Hey, X.
Not sad at all. You know what the best part about OJ dying is?
What is the best part about OJ dying?
This is the best part about OJ dying. You can clip this, put it out there, tag him so his kids see it. I don't care. The best part about OJ dying is usually when somebody dies, you have to say nice things about him after they die, right? You have to say all the nice things about the deceased. And you can't make jokes about dead people. there has to be like a statute of limitations. Like we're at the point now where people will make like Titanic jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's in good it's in good taste, but people make Titanic jokes, right? It happened 114 years ago. 113, 12 years ago. You can make a Titanic joke now. Enough time has passed.
For sure.
There is no such statute with OJ. Make all the OJ jokes you want. I'm sure Twitter's having a field day with it. To be honest with you, out of busy morning, I'm looking forward to the show ending so I can just immerse myself in all the OJ jokes on Twitter today because he savagely murdered 2 people, got away with it, and I hope he burns in hell. Now, the Christian in me says, I hope he came face-to-face with the Lord, repented for his sins, and is in eternal happiness. Like, that's what the Christian in me wants to believe. The very imperfect human that I am says, I hope he's burning in eternal damnation today. So, good riddance, Oj. I'm glad you're dead, and hope you get what's coming to you. That's not the most Christ-like thing for me to say. I understand that. We're a week past Easter, and Jesus forgave the people that nailed him to a tree. And I should forgive, but you know what? I'm a human.
You're not Jesus.
I'm not Jesus. That's correct. And OJ died. And I'll continue to play the Hey Twitter World thing.
Hey,
and,
Twitter. No, not Twitter. Hey, X World.
All OJ jokes are welcome here. You want to make OJ jokes, OJ death jokes, bring them here. I don't care if that's classless. Don't care at all. Bring all your OJ poor taste humor here because I would love to bathe in that today. And my sincere hope is that the Brown and Goldman families today have some degree of maybe they don't ever get peace, but hopefully there's some degree of peace today. That would be my only hope. I wish nothing for OJ's family. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're aboard with us here. Oj died, by the way. One of the worst humans ever. Oj.
I saw it. Can
you play Oj again?
Yeah.
Yeah, hit me with Oj.
Hey, Twitter. Not Twitter. Hey, X World.
Oj is dead. Cancer. Got him. Oj is dead. I bet it didn't hurt nearly as badly as a knife to the throat. Oj is dead. Let's see. Didn't expect to start this way, but yeah. I had completely not an ounce of remorse in my being for saying any of the things I've said just now. So I'm sure we'll get some angry emails, but I don't care. I'm not going to ever defend a murder, a double murder, by the way. Okay. Brian Kelly, completely transitioning. Brian Kelly, Oj died, by the way. Brian Kelly met with reporters after practice. This was LSU's last practice before the spring game, which, of course, will be the last practice of this spring. And there were some interesting things that Brian Kelly said, players and position groups that are standing out. We'll get a see for that, see for ourselves firsthand on Saturday at the spring game. But I thought the most interesting thing Brian Kelly said today, which was probably the only newsy thing he said, was when he was asked about positions they might target in the transfer portal. Give a listen.
Brian, as you go into the offseason, like you said, kind of evaluating this roster, other than maybe defensive tackle, are there positions that y'all might target in the transfer portal?
I don't see any other positions that we need to be in the transfer portal for other than the defensive tackle position, really.
Okay. I would say that qualifies as newsworthy. Now, if you were here on Wednesday, we talked about Jackson Howard entering the transfer portal. And I did a very unofficial count and did reach out to some people over at LSU to see if I could get this confirmed. But as best as I can tell, again, unofficially, this isn't officially from LSU. Unofficially, as of today, LSU is going into the fall with 88 scholarship players. I don't know if you know this, but there's a rule that you can only have 85. The NCAA mandates it. So if you have 88, that's 3 too many. So LSU is going to lose more players via the portal. Period. There is no other option. There are scholarship players on the team right now that will not be on the team in the fall. They can't be. They're heavy on numbers, which is a much better problem to have than what you faced when Brian Kelly took over, when you were bringing on gobs of transfers just to get to the 85 scholarship number, which they haven't had the last 2 years. So that's number one, a good thing that your numbers are finally healthy again. I found it also interesting that Brian Kelly said they would only be looking right now at defensive tackle. And as you kind of go position by position and say, where else might LSU target, what other position might they target in the portal? I think the most obvious one would be running back. Remember, you've got 2 scholarship running backs in spring right now with Josh Williams and Caleb Jackson. You got 2, that's it. And Caden Durham will be here in the summer. And then it seems as though, based on what Brian Kelly said on this past Saturday, that the Trey Holly situation looks like it's probably going to reconcile, and that they'll end up getting Trey Holly back, and so you'll be at 4 scholarship running backs. If there was another running back in the portal, it would stand to reason that you could certainly bolster depth there, because after those 4 guys, you just have walk-ons. Maybe they can get by. I walked through it earlier this week, is that you can get by with 4. We've seen LSU teams in the recent past. I think 2018 is a great example, where you had Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Nick Brissett really as the 2 guys that took all of your running back reps. So you can do it with 4. Well, how productive they'll be, we'll see. But when you look everywhere else on the roster, it kind of makes sense. Your numbers are good at linebacker, even if you're not thrilled with your production. Even though Brian Kelly did say today, listen to him talk about linebacker today when he met with reporters.
They're all going to play. And Blake, I think, made this clear. All those guys have to be in a rotation. And Westweek's had a great spring. I mean, not a good spring, a great spring. So I think you're going to see a presence of all those guys. And certainly then it becomes down in distance, relative who's going to be fighting to get on third down. These guys are going to be fighting for third down. But there's enough reps for everybody. We're going to keep them fresh. We're going to keep them active. They're all going to impact what we do. But I think if there is an area where we have depth and we have a high level of confidence, it's at the linebacker position right now.
Wouldn't have thought that. Depth and high level of confidence is at linebacker. So if you're good at linebacker, you certainly have numbers in the secondary. You're trying to figure out where your starters are going to be, but you got numbers in the secondary for sure. Your offensive line is certainly fine. You're deep and talented at receiver. You got plenty of tight ends as well. So, and you've got 4 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. So running back really would be the only other position I would target. So it kind of makes sense. And just when you look at the numbers, if you're going to add someone via the portal, you've got to subtract a scholarship player. You're already going to lose 3 more. You're going to lose at least 3 more scholarship players in this portal window. So Jackson Howard was the first. You're going to lose at least 3 more. If you want to add more players via this portal window, be prepared to lose more scholarship players to go 1 for 1. So, if you're Brian Kelly and you're LSU putting this roster together, you have to be really convicted not only on the player you're taking, but the need at that position if you're going to take a player. So, Brian Kelly, I don't know that they could have made it any more clear. The only place that they'll be looking to add this portal window would be at defensive tackle. We'll see if they actually do add any more players after Gio Paez, or if they're good with where they have. But sometimes there are players that are must-takes, right? If there's a guy that jumps in the portal that wants to come to LSU and immediately makes you better than who you have, then you find a way to make that work. But Brian Kelly's pretty clear that they don't see that as a pressing need right now. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tigers, the official beer of the Saints. Look, whether you're kicking back at home watching a game, Pels play tonight, if you're at a restaurant, maybe you're at a crawfish boil, or at the ball field watching the LSU Tigers, hopefully get on track and make a run to Omaha. Make sure you got plenty of ice cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, and the official beer of the Tigers. Great sponsors, our friends over at Mockler as well. Smoke them if you got them. A great event that benefits the Special Forces Charitable Trust. We'll tell you much more about that as it's a couple of Sundays away. Gordy and I always attend that event. Our friend Clay Young puts that on every year. It's awesome. We're looking forward to being there again. And, of course, with our friends from Mockler Beverage. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, quick break. When we come back, Ben McKee will be here. He covers Tennessee. LSU wheels up today for Rocky Top. We'll see if the Tigers can finally get off the schneid, win an SEC weekend, which it feels like forever since they've done. We'll talk some Vols with Ben McKee next on AFR.
AFR.
Hey, if you're getting out and about today, realize, man, the weekend's almost here. Great opportunity to get by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, or download the Rouse's app. Remember, you can always go to the Rouse's app, your personal shopper. It's a great opportunity for a curbside pickup. It's easy. Go to the app, Select your items. Your personal shopper will go pick them up for you. You pull up into one of the designated spots. Boom, they bring it out to your car. You don't even have to get out. It's Rouse's. They make it easy. They have all the conveniences of these major, gigantic national chains, but they have the perfect blend because they've got 70 stores, so they're everywhere, and they can give you great prices, and they got great Rouse's branded products as well, but their commitment to local is amazing. It's one of the things that always stands out. When you see the R logo, that Rouse's R logo, the Rouse's branded products, they go to great lengths to source locally every ingredient they can. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. You can always get the weekly specials at Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home. Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties, so retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, LSU, 0 for 4 on SEC weekends. You know that. And not going to get any easier going up to Rocky Top to face the SEC's best offense. LSU's going to have to find itself. This is not going to be an easy task. Ben McKee covers the Vols. He's on Twitter at Ben McKee14. Go Vols 247. Ben, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, Matt?
Really well. I actually want to start in sort of an unorthodox way because I'm going to ask you to give LSU fans hope, because one of the examples that everybody here has mentioned over this last month has been what happened to Tennessee a year ago when they started 5-10 in the league and ended up making it to Omaha. So there are undeniably parallels. What clicked for Tennessee last year? How were they able to turn it around in the second half?
The biggest thing was honestly the team chemistry standpoint. I wouldn't say that they hated each other or it was in a terrible spot or anything along those lines, because they did end up making it to Omaha. And if your team chemistry is just absolutely terrible, you're not going to end up making it to Omaha no matter what you do. But they became a closer group down the stretch. That was the biggest key for them is more off the field stuff. They had some leaders really emerge and grab the bull by the horns and lead that thing to Omaha. Not quite sure about the LSU locker room dynamics, obviously, from the outside looking in. Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz, and others are no longer there, so maybe they're missing a leadership component to this year's team. But in terms of actual on-the-field stuff rather than just the team chemistry thing, I mean, you saw Chase Burns move to the bullpen last season, although Chase Burns would tell you that he was done wrong. Well, Chase Burns wasn't pitching well enough as a starting pitcher, and that's why he was moved to the bullpen, and that kind of struck gold because you had Andrew Lindsay move into that Friday night spot, and he pitched well after moving in from the bullpen. Chase Dolander started to settle in. Drew Beam was Drew Beam, and then Burns found himself in the bullpen after a rough start as a starter. And then they also improved their outfield defense with putting Christian Scott in right field and Hunter Inslee in center field. They had Griffin Merritt, who was a transfer from Cincinnati. He was kind of one of those guys that stepped up and was a real leader on the team that I talked about in terms of finding leadership. So improving their defense. Maui Ahuna kind of got going after a rough start because of some of the NCAA stuff. Zane Denton got going after transferring from Alabama. So a couple of personnel changes, but mostly finding themselves within the locker room and really doing a great job of coming together as a team.
Look, I think some of that chemistry dynamic is certainly at play with LSU. I mean, you lose 7 everyday players from a championship lineup. That's not that dissimilar from what Tennessee went with for that great lineup 2 years ago that fell just short of Omaha. But once they got it together, they obviously started rolling. So how have they kept it rolling this year, Ben? Obviously, the offense has been great. Walk me through that lineup and why they've been able to be so dynamic this year.
They hit a lot of home runs. That is it is fireworks left and right, and I'm expecting a lot of fireworks this weekend because LSU's offense is capable of being just as dynamic, and both teams are really searching for answers on the mound, it seems. But with the offense, I truly think that this is as deep of an offense as Tennessee has had under Tony Vitello. That 2022 team 2 years ago, it's hard to top Jordan Beck and Drew Gilbert and Trey Lipscomb, who's now playing every day for the Washington Nationals, and some folk heroes like Luke Lipschius and Evan Russell. But and even the bottom of that lineup, it had Cortland Lawson hitting in the 9-hole, and he's already made his way up to Double-A in the Nationals organization as well. So that was a deep lineup, but it's not as deep as this lineup can go when you have a freshman like Dean Curley here hitting in the 9-hole of late. And Dean Curley should be in conversation for National Freshman of the Year, certainly SEC Freshman of the Year. And it doesn't necessarily stop with that 9th hitter. I mean, this is an offense that can truly go 12 to 14 deep. I mean, there are players on this roster, Reese Chapman, Robin Villaneva, a Canadian JUCO product, and a couple of other guys who deserve to be playing every single day, and they just aren't because there are so many options for Tony Vitello to pick from each day as he is writing out the lineup. So that to me is the biggest thing on top of the obvious answer of, they hit a lot of home runs and they're very skilled. But what makes this offense different than I think from a lot in the SEC and from the previous lineups that Tony has had is that it's always been kind of 1 through 9, but now it's 1 through 13, 1 through 14. And it is just lethal. And you have 3 professional hitters hitting in the middle of the lineup with Billy Amick, Christian Moore, and Blake Burke.
When they have struggled offensively, Ben, what have been the types of pitchers or the situations that have caused them to be, I don't want to say struggle, but just to be limited? Yeah,
it does feel like it's been more baseball being baseball this season when they have struggled. You know, obviously it's a tough game, a game of failure. You're going to have your games when you're not going to score double-digit runs. So just kind of that every now and again baseball game that pops up throughout a long schedule, that feels to be kind of the kryptonite, if you want to call it that. But and then also crafty lefty. I feel like that's something that always exists in college baseball. That old crafty lefty that may not have the stuff of a Luke Holman or a Drew Beam, but upper 80s, has a great breaking ball, and it's just a different look than what you're seeing from Luke Holman or somebody who's throwing plus velocity. I feel like that really throws off the timing of hitters. So it's been more of those crafty lefties that can really paint the black on either side. Not necessarily fill up the strike zone, because if you fill up the strike zone and you don't have plus stuff, plus velocity, this lineup is going to tee off on you. But if you can kind of be crafty and really paint the black and not allow pitches to leak over the middle of the plate or anything along those lines, then you can probably have a lot of success by keeping them off balanced.
Ben, fair to say that Tennessee's starting pitching, while it looked not as dynamic maybe as the staff we saw 2 years ago, but plenty good enough, if not dominant?
I think they're still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
I think it's a little too early to say. Even this weekend, the biggest issue is that they have a kid, AJ Russell, who's a sophomore, who pitched really well in a handful of appearances last season. Last year's pitching staff was kind of like what I was talking about with this year's offense, where there's guys in the offense right now that aren't getting as many at-bats as they deserve just because there's so many guys. That's kind of how it was for the pitching staff a season ago for Tennessee, and A.J. Russell was a true freshman who deserved to pitch in high-leverage situations as a freshman. It's just there weren't innings to go around, and so he comes back this year, and he opened the season, even with Drew Beam being on the roster still, he opened the season as starter number one. And it wasn't anything about Drew Beam or anything Drew Beam did wrong. It's just this A.J. Russell kid is dynamic and really, really good and was set to have a terrific season, but he's dealt with soreness on and off that they're hoping that he can work back in by the time the tournament comes back around. But even in that regard, it'll be in a bullpen role. So you already had questions about who your third starter was going to be, and if you had depth there, and now you throw in the A.J. Russell injury on top of that, and it's kind of been circling the wagons weekend in and weekend out. You got Drew Beam locked into that Saturday role, that Game 2 role, but you had A.J. Causey, who was a transfer from Jacksonville State, kind of a sidearm guy who throws in the low 90s, but because he is coming in from that sidearm delivery, the velocity plays up, and he has some nasty stuff, but he's really struggled the last 2 weekends, 15 runs on 15 hits against Georgia and Auburn the last 2 weekends. And so they're leaving Mr. TBA to pitch tomorrow night in Game 1. I wonder if we'll see Chris Stamos, a lefty reliever who transferred in from Cal, or a righty reliever in Aaron Combs. I could see those two guys opening and maybe going into it with the view of it being as an opener, but maybe if they get rolling, then allowing them to pitch longer than they typically do. So they're searching for answers. They were already looking for a third starter. Xander Seacrest has kind of been up and down. He's a crafty lefty, like I was talking about earlier, Tennessee's own crafty lefty. He'll start on Sunday in Game 3, but even that's been very unsure. And then now, because of how Causey has pitched the last 2 weekends, a lot of uncertainty about the Game 1 starter now on top of that. So that they have guys who have talent, and I've actually been making the point that Tennessee needs to strike gold the way LSU's pitching staff struck gold last season, because I remember LSU searching for pitching depth throughout last season. You knew they had the talent and the arms. They just needed to piece it together, and they did. Tennessee is in the same situation. They have the arms and the talent, and they need some youngsters and some guys who haven't necessarily proven themselves just yet. They need it to click, and if it does, it can be really dangerous.
Ben, last thing for you. It is interesting just the similarities between these two programs, how they sort of overlap and flip-flop results in years. But that opening weekend against Bama in Tuscaloosa, when Tennessee lost 2 out of 3, what was the impetus for that? How did it unravel in Tuscaloosa?
Honestly, I didn't walk away from that opening weekend thinking that Tennessee really did anything wrong or played that poorly. They did beat themselves, and I'll touch on that in a second, but I walked away impressed with Alabama that weekend more than anything. I think Rob Vaughn's going to be really good there in Tuscaloosa, and they should be a tournament team and a tough team to put out. So I did walk away from that opening weekend more impressed with Alabama than necessarily thinking poorly of Tennessee, but when Tennessee loses, it's typically because Tennessee beats itself. Going back to your question about kind of when the lineup has struggled, why has that reason been? Well, from a team perspective, when Tennessee struggles, it's usually self-inflicted. And they had some base running mistakes. They had some errors in the field. And they're a good defensive team, and they're very aggressive base runners. But sometimes they can be so aggressive to where I think they're more reckless than anything just because they're trying to apply so much pressure we shouldn't have. But that is the theme when Tennessee struggles under Tony. Again, they're not a bad defensive team or a bad base running team, but sometimes that they can shoot themselves in the foot. And maybe that's just the nature of college baseball and not being professionals. But when they have struggled as a team this year, it's been because of an error here or there that has proved costly or a base running mistake to run themselves out of an inning.
He's Ben McKee. Go Vols 247 on Twitter at Ben McKee 14. Tigers and Vols, man, no love lost between these two, and they played some great games and series these past couple of seasons. Hope for another great series this weekend. Ben, we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Okay, man. Be well. It is after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. You know, one of the things about First South Farm Credit that we talk about all the time is, yes, if you're a Louisianian and you're looking to buy land, First South Farm Credit's been helping Louisianians do that since 1916, so more than 100 years. That's what they do. It's the one thing they do, is they help Louisianians buy land. But the other thing about First South Farm Credit, too, is because they are a member-owned cooperative, they share in their profits. Every year, they issue to their borrowers a patronage refund. So just for lending money at First South, or borrowing money, I should say, at First South Farm Credit, you're going to get a check every year as part of their patronage refund. It's First South Farm Credit. Learn more at firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. Interesting that Tennessee is going to go TBA Game 1. Looks like LSU is going to go TBA Game 3. Chris Blair was on with Hunt Palmer there just before we came on the air and gave the update that LSU's flipping Jump and Holman. So LSU's going to go Jump, Holman, TBA, whereas it looks like Tennessee is going to lead off with a little TBA on Friday. So, you know, maybe this is an opportunity for LSU to say, go throw Jump, see if you can get Game 1, and then you have Holman to try to win the series Game 2 if you're able to get Game 1. I don't know. Jay Johnson has certainly tinkered and toyed an awful lot, but looking for some stability, and I think you're going to see a lot of changes this weekend as well, which we'll get to a bit later. Stay with us here at AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Action Industries. You can visit them online, actionindinc.com. Action Industries Incorporated, actionindinc.com. They're local. Their facility is here, 2 as a matter of fact, Geismar and Belrose, so 2 locations. And if you're a maintenance manager, turnaround coordinator in one of the dozens of plants that services our communities, you need to give a shout to Action Industries. You know, one of the things that really differentiates Action Industries, there's a lot of great commercial contractors, and some are just enormous companies. And let's say, you know, you have a 100-man job. Well, for some of the enormous companies, you're just a blip on their radar. At Action Industries, like, you would get all of their attention. You know, you would get their point person would be their best for your jobs. It's Action Industries. Check them out online or on LinkedIn. Go see our friends today at Action Industries.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Talk 107.3 in the Baton Rouge Clinic bring you the Dreams Come True, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in the Baton Rouge Clinic bring you the Dreams Come True radiothon. Dreams Come True is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. The Dreams Come True
You all right, bro?
radiothon is prevented.
Jesus, you okay? Amused.
Brother, I'm tripping right now.
Words. I mean, they're words
The
on a piece
Dreams
of paper.
Come True radiothon is presented today by Mr. Electric. Donate today at 1045ESPN.com.
I don't think anybody got anything you just said. Paul, did you hear him say he's tripping?
I did hear that.
Is that an acknowledgement of rampant drug use?
Can I get this in too real quick? Power Hour, 4 o'clock. Power Hour, 4 o'clock. Donate at least $5, ending in 45 cents. You can donate at 1045ESPN.com, the 4 o'clock hour, and you are entered to win tickets to Zurich Classic.
Paul, did you get any of what he just said?
No, nothing.
Yeah, me either. I don't know what just happened.
He's tripping.
Clearly.
I meant tripping over words, but yeah.
Do you want to hand it to me so I can...
If I handed it to you, you'd certainly understand why I was tripping all over the words. I promise you that, because it's a promo not for this station.
Can intelligently read the promo. Crumple it up and throw it to me so I can read it. Try this again. Very important. It's the Dreams Come True radiothon. It's our annual fundraiser. Got to make sure we do this right. One thing I know for sure is you can go to our website.
Yes.
1045ESPN.com.
Right.
So I also have a question. Why do we have a promo for the wrong station?
That's a great question. That was handed to me earlier, and I put it in the room, and I did not realize it until I just started to read it, and that is ultimately what threw everything off. There was a change with it's.
Did you start the promo by saying Talk 107?
I did, because I Ron Burgundy did it. I Ron Burgundy did it.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
It's a good thing nobody put an F-bomb on this, or you'd be fired.
I thought you were going to go.
I'd have to fire you, Muse.
Anything.
Anything, yeah. That would be 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yes.
And the Baton Rouge Clinic bring you the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Dreams Come True is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. The Dreams Come True Radiothon is presented today by Mr. Electric.
Yep.
Donate today at 1045ESPN.com. Got it?
Yeah, and then there's a power hour.
Yes.
But
here it is. With a donation of at least $5 and ending in 45 cents, hence 1045. So $5.45, $10.45, $1,000.45, $1 million, $97.45. Just end your donation of 45 cents. In the 4 o'clock hour, so coming up in 20 minutes right now for the entire hour of the Dreams Come True Radiothon, your name will be placed in a drawing for 2 tickets to the 2024 New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival.
Well, I think that one is just for talk. Ours is the Zurich.
I don't think so.
It was last week. I don't know why that would stop.
Because this week it's Jazz Fest.
On the promo I had before that one, it was still the Zurich, but okay. You'll be entered to win something. We know that.
Whatever you do, just give money because it's a great cause. Okay. Paul, that felt like a very unproductive use of several minutes of the show. Yep, your mic's not on.
I would say so.
We are on a roll. You see, mourning the loss of OJ. Is that what's going on over there?
I thought we were moving on right there, so I killed the mics and OJ.
You killed the mic. You are mourning the loss of OJ.
And I was going on to the next thing.
I will say that the best text I've gotten into the show so far is from Patrick Gerard, who said, say what you want about OJ, but he finally brought the killer to justice. I'm here for all the OJ jokes. You're welcome here. There is no statute of limitations. There's no cooling off period with OJ. He murdered 2 people, got away with it. So make all the OJ jokes you want. It's not like, it's certain things you got to let time pass. You can't make fun of. You can't make fun of, speak ill of the dead. There's got to be a time that passes till the jokes are acceptable. Not with OJ. Guy savagely murdered 2 people and got away with it. One of the jurors on OJ Made in America flatly said she didn't care. She was just letting a black man get off because so many white people had gotten away with crimes in Los Angeles County over the years. So, please shower this show with OJ hate and jokes and revel in it. All right, it's after further review. LSU basketball got a transfer commit today. And I'm excited, man. Jordan Sears committed to Matt McMahon's squad today. Another guard. And he's coming in from UT Martin. And I like what Matt McMahon is doing. It's very clear the approach that he's taking in that he has 3 top 75 players in the country. I think he's actually bordering right around 3 top 50 players committed for this freshman cycle. And now you're supplementing via the portal as well. We learned earlier this week that Jalen Cook is declaring for the draft. So you're obviously going to be thin on guards. Here you go. You add a veteran guard who's going to help bolster the roster. I love it, man. I love what they're doing right now. And, I think as you continue to look at Matt McMahon and how he's building this program, I think it is a reasonable expectation to target the tournament next year. As you continue to just stair-step this build, maybe the most important part of what Matt McMahon is doing right now is he has something to sell. He has something to pitch. It's no longer it's some intangible dream. He can say, look at where we were year 1. Look at how much we improved year 2. Here's how I've used guards. Here's my vision for you in this system. Come play in the Power 5 and help us get to the tournament. So I love it. Excited to see LSU continue this progress that they're making under Matt McMahon. Another transfer commitment today. We'll tell you more about it as we move along. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in just a sec. Brought to you by Evermore. Of course, we always encourage you to grab a great bottle of Evermore. Evermore is natural artesian water. It's a rare alkaline source. The pH between 8.8 and 9.1. It's a fresh, smooth taste. It's perfected by nature. It's Evermore, y'all. This is a Louisiana product that has become a national brand. It's incredible. with national distribution. Dak Prescott is one of their national endorsers. And this is a natural artesian well in Covington on the North Shore, like literally 2 minutes off of I-12, and it's right there. It's a great Louisiana product. Bypass the flimsy plastic bottles. And when you go pick up other bottles of water, don't just assume water is water. Look at the labels. See on the label very clearly, some of the very well-known bottled water say minerals added for taste. There's nothing added or taken out of a bottle of Evermore. Straight out of the well into this bottle. It's Evermore. EVAMOR, evermore.com, available at great local retailers. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Kentucky Wildcats.
Scott Drew has decided he's going to stay at Baylor. He's turned down interest from Kentucky. He was actually seen his family getting off a plane of a very well-known Kentucky booster after a trip to Lexington. Drew family has decided they will stay in Waco, where he won the 2021 national championship. So Nate Oates has already released a statement saying he's not interested. We've seen other high-profile coaches decline interest, including Billy Donovan, who intends to stay with the Chicago Bulls, Jay Wright, Dan Hurley. So Kentucky now getting a little further down the list. Is it Bruce Pearl, Brad Underwood, Sean Miller, Todd Golden? Some of the names that are being floated out there for the next head man there at Kentucky to replace John Calipari.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn veteran Dylan Cardwell has announced he will return next year for an additional year of eligibility, making the announcement via Instagram. Cardwell played double-digit minutes in 31 of 35 games this past year, averaged 5 points and nearly 4 boards a game for Bruce Pearl's squad. He's played 128 career games.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
And Virginia Tech transfer wing Tyler Nickel has committed to Vandy. 6'7", 220-pound sophomore. Averaged 8-2 this past season in his lone season with the Hokies. Began his college career at North Carolina. Played one season before transferring. So UNC, Virginia Tech, now Vandy. Former 4-star recruit, was the number 84 overall player in the country in the 2022 cycle. Okay, there you have it. That is around the SEC. It is after further review. Gordon McKernan in studio here in about 15 minutes from right now. We're going to spend a good while with Gordon, talking all things NIL and a great new promotion and push that he has going on. So we'll talk to G coming up here in about 15 minutes from right now. Kendall Rogers to start off Hour 3. Momma Scone will be here in Hour 3. Ton to do. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
It's certainly not too late to call River City's 1 hour air for your preseason AC tune-up. With every day that passes, though, you put yourself more at risk. And by putting yourself at risk, I mean putting your AC at risk of malfunctioning and costing you money. I don't know any other way to say this, y'all. It's the analogy I've given for years. The preseason AC tune-up is so important because it's like you wouldn't drive your car across the country without having the oil changed, the tires rotated, the engine checked up to make sure your air pressure's good. You want to make sure that your car is running at max efficiency if you're going to count on it to get you across the country. Well, your AC is about to go through 3 months of unrelenting triple-digit temps. Make sure it's ready by having River City's 1 hour air come out and do the preseason AC tune-up. This will extend the life of the unit, and it'll also make sure you run at max efficiency, saving you money. It's River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The best.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Wrapping up hour number one. As we inch closer to the NFL draft, I think we're kind of attacking this thing at all angles with respect to the Saints. And I think there's sort of a consensus belief that the Saints are, that their biggest need is offensive tackle and that they're going to address that at 14. It was interesting today. There was a piece at ESPN.com looking at teams that could potentially draft multiple players at the same position. And obviously with the Saints, it's offensive tackle that we look at. And Jordan Reed looked at the Saints and kind of laid out a scenario where they could potentially take multiple tackles. That you could have one at 14, but then a pick later in the draft. He's listed Patrick Paul from Houston, Kieran Amagadija. Let's go with that. From Yale, Blake Fisher out of Notre Dame, day 2 or 3 prospects that the Saints could pull the trigger on later in the draft. And I don't, it would stand to reason that on the offensive line, if you were going to take multiple players at the same position, really at any position, it would be somewhat of an oddity or an outlier. But the Saints have actually done this, I don't want to say commonly, but it's been more common than you might think. The last time they did it, took 2 offensive linemen in the same draft, was 2018. So it's been a little while, but 2018 was the last time they did it. And they didn't exactly hit. They took Rick Leonard in round 4 out of Florida State, and he was a total bust. And then they took Will Clapp in round 7, and Clapp made the team, and he's still in the league. So you went 1 of 2 there. Before that, you have to go back to 2012. And this was another atrocious draft. Your entire draft in 2012 was Akeem Hicks, Nick Toon, Corey White, Andrew Tiller, and Marcel Jones. Exactly. But 2 of those players, Corey White and Andrew Tiller, were offensive linemen that you clearly missed on those. In 2010, you took Charles Brown in round 2 and Matt Tennant in round 5, and that was one of the more disappointing years because Charles Brown was a super athletic offensive tackle out of Southern Cal that felt like a steal in round 2, in the back part of round 2, and you felt like you got a franchise left tackle when you made the pick, and he was a guy that just couldn't play. Mike Detillier affectionately and sort of jokingly referred to him as Charlie Brown his entire career. He was that bad. And then Matt Tennant, who the Saints got in round 5, there was a lot of talk that Matt Tennant might have been the best center in that draft. Now, with the way the draft pay scale has changed, you see interior offensive linemen going more high in the draft now. It wasn't exactly the case then. When Matt Tennant got picked back in 2010, he was a 5th-round pick out of Boston College, and it didn't work out for him in the NFL. But he was one of the best centers in that year's draft, so you kind of whiffed on both of those guys. But they've done it before. 2007 was a year where they went Andy Alaman, Jermon Bushrod. You split there. And 06 is probably the year that was the quintessential year you'd point to and say that's what you hope for if you're going to draft multiple guys at the same position. In 06, they took Jari Evans in round 4, and they took Zach Strief in round 7. And both of those guys became starters and stalwarts for you. Jari Evans is likely, has a great shot to be a Hall of Famer. He's been a Hall of Fame finalist. And Zach Strief became a starter for you at right tackle for nearly a decade and was a starter on your Super Bowl team. So I am not opposed in any way to the Saints making multiple picks on the offensive line this year, because if nothing else, what we've seen is in years where they've drafted multiple linemen in the same draft, what's happened more often than not is they hit on at least one of them. The Charles Brown, Matt Tennant year where you go double whiff is a bummer. More likely what you see is like the Andy Alaman, Jermon Bushrod. You whiffed on Alaman, but you knocked it out the park with Bushrod. And if you get really lucky, maybe it's like what happened in 2006 when you had Evans and Strief. But either way, when you look at this offensive line, you could be replacing both tackles and potentially a guard. Like you could have 3 starting spots on your offensive line up for grabs. So yeah, go get 2 young players and see if you can make it work. All right, it's after further review. Knocking out our final break here of hour number 1. When we come back after Sports Center, Gordon McKernan will be in studio with us. Got a great new thing going on with the G team. We'll talk some NIL with Gordon in studio. Looking forward to it. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Get on by and see our friends or start online. Remember, for our friends in Lafayette, Lake Charles, remember you got Southwest Volkswagen. Same great ownership group, just a Volkswagen dealership nearer you. So remember Southwest Volkswagen there in Lafayette. But man, if you're in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alex, if you're just looking for the largest volume Volkswagen dealer in Louisiana, it's South Point Volkswagen. They're on Airline Highway just north of Highland, and they're online at southpointvw.com. Always encourage you to go to the website. Remember, you can search every vehicle. If it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com and certified pre-owned. So when you go to the website and you hit used vehicles at the top, you'll see the drop down and you'll see pictures of every vehicle on the lot and not just Volkswagen. So if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, check out all the used lots, but make sure you check out South Point Volkswagen as well. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. OJ Simpson's family announces today the Heisman Trophy winner and Pro Football Hall of Famer died of prostate cancer on Wednesday. Simpson's post-football career started with even more fame, but then declined into scandal, including a double murder charge and a 9-year jail term. As for his football career, ESPN's Kimberly A. Martin.
1973. Led the league, 2,000 rushing yards, like one of the most perfect seasons for a running back. From USC to the Bills, Hall of Famer. So strictly speaking, from a football perspective, one of the greats of the game, Hall of Famer.
Kimberly A. Martin on First Take. Baylor coach Scott Drew is the latest high-profile candidate to turn down the Kentucky coaching job. Drew is the winningest coach in Bears history, including a national title in 2021. Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, Ippei Mitsuhara, now faces federal charges of bank fraud. First round of the Masters live right now on ESPN. Bryson DeChambeau in the lead after shooting a 7-under 65 today.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming on Friday, I'll tell you why my Lakers need to avoid the 8th seed if they want to make a deep playoff run. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tompley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. I just saw Gordon walk in the hall. Do we want to let's do this segment and then we'll welcome Gordon, our guests, in here in about 10 minutes from right now. Just a little bit of a switch here. We'll have Gordon McKernan, Darah, Haidet, and Carly Fuller in studio with us. Talking about a cool event Gordon's got coming up, and then also we'll do a segment with Gordon alone talking some NIL. But we're just going to flip things real quickly here because just to give us more time. Jay Johnson was on Off the Bench earlier today with Hester and T-Bob. Of course, Tigers hit the road. They're in Knoxville this weekend for a 3-game series. Tigers are desperately trying to get right. One of the things that we learned is that LSU is going to flip the rotation this weekend. So they're going to go Jump, Holman, TBA. I don't hate it. Especially with Tennessee likely leading with TBA, part of me looks and says, man, Holman's been your best guy. This is a series where you are a decided underdog. Go get one. And your best opportunity to get one is when Luke Holman's on the bump. I mean, Luke Holman's been pitching the times you've won SEC games this year. So, I mean, it's only been 3. But it feels like Holman against TBA would be your best opportunity on Friday. But they're going to flip it and maybe Jump gets you off to a good start. You got Holman with a chance to win the series. It's also a situation potentially where if you're Jay Johnson, you're looking going, we're 3-9 in the league. Like, you got to start winning series, and this might give you the best chance to win the series. You're no longer thinking about winning a game. You're thinking about winning a series. Here was Jay on Off the Bench talking about this team and where they are coming off the win on Tuesday against McNeese, heading to Rocky Top.
This week, it's more of like moving on. For me, it is difficult to let go of games like the Vanderbilt game or that Florida game. But like for our players, for all of us in the organization, it's kind of like for these last 18 league games, for non-conference game, it's like, what's next? And let's attack that. And they did a good job of that on Tuesday, and we're going to have to do that this weekend. So really focusing on the present game, as we did the same, and then what's next.
I think the biggest change that we're going to see from LSU is something we kind of got a glimpse, like a peek behind the curtain on Tuesday. And it's something that, as we watch this LSU team struggle, one of the things that we've talked about is, okay, do you go young with the guys with a super high ceiling and you just sort of go through the growing pains to get them the experience they need? Do you rely on your veterans because they've been there and they're just they may be lower ceiling but more mature college players? Or do you try to find a perfect blend? And quite honestly, throughout the course of this season, I think Jay has taken each of those approaches at different points. But Tuesday felt like Jay kind of went, you know what? Screw it, play the kids. And it worked. You had Kucherak playing short. I mean, you saw Ashton Larson in the lineup. You saw Jake Brown hit his first career homer. And I think this weekend is going to be a baptism by fire for a lot of those guys. Like, I think Larson's going to be in the outfield. I think he's, just like on Tuesday, they sat Braswell. I think he's going to sit Braswell. If maybe not for the whole weekend, I think he's going to sit Braswell on Friday. Like, I think Stephen Milam is going to go play short. They'll put Pearson at second. And you'll get Larson in the outfield. You'll have Kling in center. You'll probably keep Bingham in left, but we'll see how. Maybe they put Jake Brown out there. But I think Jay has gotten to the point. I mean, look at what he's doing. I mean, when you have I've joked and said he's playing whack-a-mole, just like trying to push every button. What might work? Try everything. I mean, you're 3-9. It ain't working. Try something different. So I think that's what he's going to do this weekend. I think he's finally going to say, bleep it, play the kids. Because you have leaned on your veterans, and they have not performed for you. Like, Michael Braswell has struggled at short. And yes, in SEC play, he has been your top hitter in SEC play. But it's not like he's been so good offensively that you can't justify taking him out of the lineup. Quite honestly, the errors have hurt you. I mean, the error he committed in the 10th inning against Arkansas cost you that game. So you got to be better. And I mean, it's like, it's different. A year ago, there was so much fan conversation around Jordan Thompson because his bat just was not going, especially late in the season. But it didn't matter. And Jay said it a million times. He never let the struggles offensively. He never took that into the field with him. He played great defense, and he was a great defensive shortstop. And then it was so awesome at the final game of the season, the bat came. And anyway, like, if Braswell was playing a dynamic shortstop, okay, I say it all the time. Catcher, shortstop, center. You premium defensive positions, if you got an elite defender, I'll give up a bat for an elite defender of a premium position. But if you're not defending, then I can't justify, at a premium position, I can't justify having you in the lineup. So I think you got a glimpse into that Jay's going to make some changes. I think you're going to probably see Milazzo catch. I don't think you justify Hayden Stravinsky catching anymore. Like, he's your weakest defensive catcher, and he's not hitting. Like, he had a great month leading up to conference play, at the start of conference play, but he's seen his batting average drop with 60 points. He's below 300 now. So, like, you have a career sample, and then you have the small sample of success, so which is real. I think Jay, it just seems pretty clear that he's looking at it saying, we got to do something different. And the thing that's different feels like, hey, go play the young kids that you hope don't know any better, that have a super high ceiling. They'll probably take some lumps, but be aggressive offensively. have a really good defensive plan out there, and see if you can go win a series on the road at Tennessee this weekend. So Tigers are flipping, jumping Holman, and I don't think that's the only change they're going to make. Like I think you're going to see the youth infusion. I think you're going to see Larson start. I think you're going to see Braswell go to the bench. I think, be it moving Milam to short or Kucherak at short, like I think you're going to see that this weekend. I mean, he's going to give these young guys a shot. It just feels like it's time. So maybe desperate times, desperate measures sort of thing. We'll see how it all plays out. But LSU, Tennessee this weekend. One more from Jay. Can you play number 4, please? This was Jay on this Tennessee team that they're going to play.
They're good. Like, it's names like they were all there last year. So, I mean, there's a College World Series team that we played and was able to beat 4 times, but it's not really a surprise. I mean, they're really balanced. They hit mistake pitches. You mentioned the ballpark. Like, it's a good challenge, and there's a path like to get them out, but our pitchers have to be better than they have been.
Yeah, that park sucks too, by the way. I mean, it's a matchbox. I mean, it's 320 down the lines. It's 365 to the alleys. It's 390 straightaway center? What straightaway center? Do you know the dimensions?
I think 390. It's either 385 or 390. It is well below 400.
I mean, you wonder why they hit a bajillion homers? They play in a softball field. I mean, but both teams are playing there this weekend. So take advantage of it as well and go mash homers. LSU and Tennessee, got to get one, man. Got to get this weekend. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back, and Gordon will be in studio. Looking forward to it. Stay here.
AFR.
Not even lying. Look at the sheet. It's Gordon McKernan. I get to talk about Gordon right now. Get Gordon, get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. We'll talk about plenty when G's in here in studio with us, but one of the things I love telling you about every year about this time is Gordon's grads. Awesome, awesome part of the Gordon Gives arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. So Gordon's grads, it's simple. Every year around graduation time, Gordon gives away a dozen laptops. So if you are a high school grad, you have a high school grad in your family or know of someone who's going to college or trade school, Gordon's giving them a chance to win one of a dozen laptops for free. Just go to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com, fill out the form on the homepage, enter to win. I mean, yes, every day I get to tell you about it. If you've been injured, it's not your fault. Get Gordon, get it done. Gordon and his team have been helping injured people in our state for 3 decades. But there's so much more with their community outreach as well, and Gordon's Grads is a big part of that. Go to gordonsgrads.com. Get Gordon. Get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, glad to have you back with us here. A Thursday edition of AFR. Always a pleasure to welcome Gordon in studio with us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
Listen, man, first time I've seen you since you shaved, man. So is this a life decision? What's going on?
It's the beard is a hunting-based decision. So come November, December, January, and into February, if I'm fishing still a good bit, then the beard stays on. But the wife wants it on.
Yeah.
And so does Alex and the rest of the team for commercials. Too much beard. It's not good enough. And you have a great beard. I mean, yours is full. It's right. It's just.
I actually just trimmed it yesterday.
Well,
it's actually one of God's subtle humors, Gordon. That I have hair, thick hair, everywhere else, except the place you'd love to have.
That's right.
Thick hair.
Yeah.
So
God does have a sense of humor.
Yes, no doubt. He also gave me rhythm. Imagine that. I don't look like a guy you'd say like that dude's got rhythm. No, man.
Yeah.
He's like, look at the.
Did someone talk about you rapping one time?
I don't know. Like, I'm not Flaugier over here. Okay, you know what I mean. But she did a great job on the Gordon rap.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have Darah and Carly come in studio with us next segment. Talk about a cool thing that Gordon and his team have coming up, and one of the partnerships you have. But I wanted to start just to pick your brain a little on NIL and where LSU is, because obviously you've been the guy who was actually at the forefront of it. Walk me through, if you would, what feels like maybe, I don't know if it's fair to call it a pivot for you, but you just announced today your team you did an NIL deal with the entire gymnastics team.
Right. Yep.
We've seen all throughout Women's History Month, like you announced so many. We had Aaliyah Armstrong, LSU track and field. It feels like you're going much broader now.
Yeah.
And is that intentional?
Yeah, it definitely was intentional. I'd been challenged, right? I have 3 daughters and I have a wife and girl dogs, and there are lots of girls and women in my life. And I've had the good fortune to get to know Dee Dee Bro, and obviously I have a relationship with Kim Mulkey, and just a lot of great women, strong women. And just thinking through that, I said, well, what could I do to give back or to bring some attention and spotlight to women's sports, non-revenue generating sports at LSU? I just started thinking through that, and said, why not go ahead and sign a bunch of ladies, right, and put a spotlight on their talents, their sacrifices, just as much as the men sacrifice, they sacrifice, and oftentimes they do it in obscurity, and people don't know about it. And this was just a way to try to bring some attention to it. That's really all it was. And then, as with anything I do, I think it starts out real small and then just grows and grows and gets bigger and bigger. And I lose control of it. My marketing team's like, really? Like, we don't have enough to do.
Well, one of the really cool things, so Darah Haidet will be in studio with us in the next segment. Yeah. She's the Tiger Girls champion. Of course, they won the national championship, went super viral. Yeah. You had already done the NIL deal with Darah before they went viral. So, sometimes you kind of get lucky, too.
It's better to be lucky than good, right? And that was right. That was just good providence, God blessing us, and, had already done that. And there you go. Then they win it, and all this falls into our place.
Do you find, and you've been kind with your time as we've talked about the approach that you've taken with LSU and their collective, and I noticed you did a deal with a couple of Southeastern student athletes, softball players, so this isn't just a narrow, just LSU component, but with LSU, you've been at this for 2.5 years now.
Yeah, somewhere in there, yep.
especially, let's say, in the last 6 months when it feels like LSU's collective has really started to get organized and focused. What changes have you noticed? Like, is that a fair assessment that we've seen the collective start to maybe zero in a little bit?
Oh, yeah. And some of that's the NCAA's having their powers curtailed a little bit, right? And so the collective's able to flex a little bit more. And at the same time, they've just learned. They've gotten better. They've learned how to fundraise better. You've had people more willing to donate and give to it. And I think they're understanding how to deploy the assets better and how to reach the donors. And there's just more cohesion and more efficiency throughout the whole thing. So it's I've seen it just blossom. And it's blossomed a lot over the last year. Carlos and the rest of them are doing a great job, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
What do you think? Do you intend to continue certainly in some capacity, your current capacity with NIL deals?
Oh yeah. You know, I support the collective. I write checks to that, right, because it needs help. And then these individual NIL deals, we'll most certainly keep doing it.
To whatever degree you want to add any definition to that, can you explain kind of how that breakdown works, like contributing to the collective and then doing deals? So the deals you do with the student athletes, you're doing that on your own individually?
On my own individually. We probably, with the gymnastics team, we probably have 40 to 50 athletes under contract right now in all the various sports, largely women right now. Plus we have 5 or 6 baseball players, LSU baseball players, a few at some other schools. But yeah, I have 3 or 4 people now, not full-time in my company, but spend a good amount of time working with all of this to do it. So yeah, we continue to do it. We continue to try to partner with as many interesting stories on and off the field, and that's largely what I look for. Are you a great performer on the field, or do you have a really interesting story off the field? Yeah. And if it's one of those two, then I tend to gravitate towards those.
Remember you told me, and Gordon McKernan's in studio with us, you told me the last time you were here, and I thought it was really interesting, when you were having conversations with people in the collective, I think at Texas, if I remember correctly, and that a lot of people at various collectives around the country are actually, it's a pretty free-flowing sharing of information, right?
Much more so than you'd believe. Yeah, it is. And you start to learn who they are at the different schools, and you talk some. Now, there's some poker being played, right? They don't want to really tell you how much, but you can, through enough conversations, understand that, oh yeah, Texas is way up there. I mean, they'll give you the range that they're spending, and it's significant, and there is. I mean, we'll talk and we'll kid each other, oh, you got that guy, we got this guy. It's kind of fun to do that. But yeah, it's a little small fraternity.
Where I think, as we discussed, there was like the top maybe 12, 18 schools, and then you have like another tier of 30 maybe, if I remember, and then it's like everyone else trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And that LSU is kind of in that next tier. Do you feel that gap is closing? Is LSU ascending in that that tier?
I think LSU is competing now. I think we're in the top 10 schools now in the country. Yeah, we're competing, and we're smart, and we don't have to spend as much as a lot of these other schools. And that's some of the schools I talk with. They attract someone to Ole Miss, Oxford, great place, love it, but it's not the easiest place, right? Or Texas, even though they got all the money, they haven't been successful, right?
Okay.
And then put the people and the pros that we have. So it's an easier buy-in for a family to come here, and sometimes we can get a discount on that because of that.
Is how much, or if at all, does Louisiana play? It's one of the things I talk about a lot, G, is like LSU's inherent advantage is the dirt. Like there's kids who grew up in the state.
They're not going.
They just want to play for LSU.
Agreed.
The opportunity to wear the purple and gold.
Yeah.
I think Will Campbell's a great example of that.
Great example of that. Yeah, could go anywhere he wanted. Could have transferred out and signed a 7-figure deal, no doubt. He's that impactful of a player. I was out at practice this morning, and you see all the guys on the field, and there's just one who stands different. And, and I'm not saying that there are not other guys as big as him. There are a couple of them, but just the way this presence and he stands, there's just the alpha.
Yeah.
And he's it. And he's just different, and we're blessed to have him. And he could have gone somewhere, but I was visiting with him. He just loves Louisiana, loves LSU. He'll have a great career, and he'll come back here and buy some duck property and hunt and fish all the days of his life, and talk to him about car dealerships and stuff like that. And, we talk Big Will's auto dealer. Everybody's going to go buy a truck from Big Will, right?
Yeah, man.
All day long, yeah.
He also looks different on the field because he's 6'5", 315, and he wears number 7.
7. And today, it was so cool today, just seeing that. He really was. It's just he's a remarkable young man.
What do you see? And Gordon McKernan good enough to be in studio with us. We're going to do another segment here in just a sec. Darah Haidet from the Tiger Girls will be here. Carly Fuller will be in studio as well. We got a great promotion coming up that Gordon's helping spearhead, so we'll talk about that here in just a second. But when you look maybe in the next 6, 12, 18 months for LSU's collective, what do you see sort of as the vision? Like where are we going over the next year and a half?
Well, I think this is we believe a bridge to what's coming, right? How long do we stay in this posture? Is it 12 months, 18, 24? Probably more 24 to 36 months before Congress or the powers that be finally come together to try to put some structure to it, and not just the wild, wild west. So I think we're focused on the next 24 months just staying very competitive in terms of can we get the donor base to continue to support it. And I think largely you've seen Todd and some other guys really step up and do that. So I think that's going to happen. And it's just, it really is allocation of resources like you're a GM, right? And you've got salary caps in a sense. You've got $7 million, $8 million, $10 million. And how do you disperse that money to your multiple sports, right? It's interesting. So I think they're real focused on, and I think they're very smart with it and how they do it. I mean, they're shrewd. I mean, Carlos and the guys are shrewd with how they're spending money.
When you said 24 months or so before Congress brings some kind of structure, what do you think? When you say structure, what do you mean? What do you think that looks like?
Yeah,
that's the $1 million question.
Yeah, I keep hearing revenue sharing, right?
Yeah.
One time they're thinking employee-employer relationship. I don't think that with the SEC and the power they wield that they would want that. It just opens too many unknown issues. But a revenue sharing plan, and I largely think the SEC will be favored and get the most of it, and then the schools will have it, and they'll devise down a plan per school what you're going to get, and the players will actually share in the revenue, TV contracts, things like that they participate in for their name, image, and likeness. You're making money off of us, so we ought to share in that revenue, and that's what I keep hearing.
Yeah, there are. I know I've mentioned it. Like I've had firsthand conversations with admins that are working a workable strategy for what their budgets look like with a rev share model.
Yeah,
like it's going to happen. It's just a matter of
That's
when and what it looks like.
I don't think anybody wants to do it in election year, presidential election year, and probably the year after there might be some more important things. Get the country on good footing, but trust me, it's right on the heels of that.
One more thing, one of the things I know we've talked about plenty is fan engagement, right? And the LSU collective, as best I understand it, there's about 24 donors that at the onset certainly have really been driving it.
Right.
And the push has been, how do you engage the average fan? Ole Miss has done a great job of that. Auburn has done a great job of that. How does LSU, fan listening, watching right now goes, I hear you, but I can't give $10,000, $100,000.
Right.
Like, what do I do?
Yeah, I do think that they have been working on that. And I think they were supposed to have rolled something out, just kind of got delayed. And I think that's still the mindset. I don't know if presently they're looking to try to get the 50 to 250 to 500. I don't think that. At first, I think they want to figure out how to get the 25,000 to 2,500 fan who wants to give, and they're working on that with some technology and a platform to roll that out. I haven't asked recently about that, where it is, but I do know that the 24 donor base or whatever has, a lot of us have doubled our donations, so to speak, to help.
You think that's been a is it fair to say that's kind of been a necessity to keep pace?
Without a doubt. I mean, when you see what the other schools are doing, you have to raise more revenue, right? Because we're not cutting expenses. Expenses are only going up on what these kids are demanding, so to speak. So,
do you think I said last thing? But when we talk about this, I always have a million questions because it's fascinating.
Right,
I mean, it's an unavoidable part of the success of college, major college athletics now. Do you see with respect to the money that someone like yourself or any donor might give, is it a displacement of funds? Another way to say it, like, does you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you have $100,000 to give and it was all going, say, to Taft, are you splitting it now?
No.
Or is it new dollars?
No, it's new dollars. And that's my understanding. I don't think I know Taft was worried about that
Yeah.
a great deal, and they should be.
Of course.
But you need both.
Yeah.
You can't build the buildings without the product on the field or on the court, right? And you have to have both. And I think there's enough synergy now that everybody understands that. So for me, new dollars. I know for Todd and some other ones, new dollars. These are just new contributions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating time, man. Gordon McKernan certainly has been at the forefront of LSU's collective and NIL opportunities, and always doing great stuff with student athletes. And there's another really cool thing coming up, which we're going to tell you about when we come back. So let me knock on a quick break. G's going to stay here. We're going to welcome a couple more guests in here to tell you about a great way that they're continuing to positively benefit the community through NIL opportunities as well. That's coming up. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. Love telling you about Glow Resources. My buddy Jareth Knockhand and my friends over at Glow do an awesome job. And the thing that's maybe most important to tell you about with Glow is they're not a temp staffing agencies. The best way to tell you what they are is by telling you what they're not. They're not a last resort. Like you need a bunch of employees in a hurry, you call Glow. That's not what they are. They're a first option. So if you're looking to hire, and yes, they specialize in skilled blue-collar workers. So if it's heavy machinery operators, welders, they certainly have that, but they also have a white-collar division. So if you need C-level management, it's tax season. If you're an accounting firm, you need CPAs or help within your firm, Glow Resources can help as well. And they judge themselves by their retention rate. At Glow Resources, they have a 93% retention rate. And they're also just really fun to work with. So check them out online at glowresources.com. It's GLO, glowresources.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call
after further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, glad to have you back with us here. Got Gordon McKernan still hanging out with us. Joined by another friend of the show who's back, Darah Haidet, Tiger Girl national champion, and Carly Fuller, who is with Girls on the Run. Really cool organization, and Gordon's partnering, of course, with the NIL opportunities with folks like Darah and Carly Fuller here for this awesome event. Carly, let me just start with you. Give me the elevator pitch version of what is Girls on the Run.
Yeah. Girls on the Run is inspiring confidence in girls in grades 3 through 8. And we do that because volunteer mentors empower those girls.
That's awesome. So do you do work in schools?
So our program sites can be at schools, community centers, parks, wherever, but majority of them are at schools.
Cool. Gordon, Darah, tie this together. How did the two of you get involved in Girls on the Run?
I actually was first introduced to Girls on the Run through Tiger Girls. We made tutus with them and got to we do community service, and as an all-girl female team, to empower young girls is super important. And Gordon here, we saw that together and have done with his NIL for female athletes, have partnered with Girls on the Run as well.
Love it.
That's right. Yeah, just trying to bring attention and awareness to a worthwhile charity. We have a bunch of people in our marketing department throughout the firm who like to run. I love to run before getting older.
Yes.
Can't run as much, right? And with this big push this whole spring to bring attention to women athletes, right? It seemed like a natural fit. You're bringing all the attention to the LSU women athletes. Why not bring some attention to a woman-based charity? And Molly and the crew looked at some and came up with Girls on the Run. So happy to support it.
Carly, what is the support from Gordon and his team? What has it meant for Girls on the Run?
Yeah, so more than half of the girls request scholarship assistance to participate. And more than that, we're offering the program just to all girls. So we're trying to serve as many girls as possible. So any funding we receive is making sure that we're getting that program, which is an evidence-based curriculum, which really just means this is the real deal. Mm-hmm. This is really making an impact in girls. And we're just trying to get it in the hands of as many program sites as possible.
So, so if someone's listening right now and they're interested, is your outreach to schools, to other sort of after school programs? Is that who we're targeting here?
Yes, schools or parents. If you're like, yeah, I want this program at my school or in my community center or park, contact us because all we need is volunteer mentors. And anyone can be a volunteer mentor. We give you training to do that.
Very cool. Yeah, we've got the website pulled up here for those that are watching along with us. I'll tell you a lot about Girls on the Run. So the 5K is coming up on May the 4th. Are y'all? So Gordon, you're not running.
No, not anymore.
Darah, are you running?
I'll be there. Yeah.
Right. What is this? What did you? We were in the break and you said I told you I'm not running. I did running in a different part of my life, and like Gordon, my knees won't let me run to that door right now anymore. But y'all were telling me something about tutus. What you're putting me in a tutu? What is this?
Oh yes, so we made tutus and bandanas that have little slogans to empower the girls to run. So get you dressed up. If you look good, you feel good, you run good. So
okay, I don't know that wearing a tutu makes me
no,
look
you're
good.
not going to look good in a tutu.
I don't think I would look great in a tutu. But is this part of Girls on the Run?
Well, look, it's all about empowering those girls. So whatever we can do to help celebrate them. And so Girls on the Run is so much more than running. It's about helping girls develop that confidence, connection to peers. So the Girls on the Run 5K is just a celebration of all those girls, their mentors, and the community. So when you're coming out there, it's just an inspiring event. Anyone can be a part of it. You don't have to run. You can walk. You can cheer. So anyone can really be a part.
Oh, my God.
Come eat pancakes after.
Now I can eat pancakes. Yeah. I'm really good at that. I've gotten very good at that, especially as I've gotten older. Pretty good at drinking beer and stuff like that as well. The running part, maybe not as much. And if you want me to walk a 5K, y'all might have to extend however long the police escort will be out there.
It's okay. We have a back of the pack spirit squad.
I love that.
So they will be cheering.
Now you're talking right now.
Awesome.
Now at the end you want to do push-ups. I can do push-ups. You want to do that? I got good genes there, genetics. My knees and my feet aren't going to let me do this. Wait, so let's get into some of the particulars about the 5K. If people want to register, how do they do that?
Yeah, you can go to our website, girlsontheRun.sola.org. We have a 5K page. You can register there. Try to register before April 17th so you can get your T-shirt. And And then, come out to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana and celebrate with us.
Just give the website again.
Girls on the Run, SOLA.org.
As in South Louisiana.
Yes.
Okay, so Girls on the Run, SOLA.org. That's the website. We have it pulled up right here for those that want to see. Right there at the top, you see the tab for 5K. You can tap that if you want to go register. Is this? I'm assuming like any 5K, like you have serious runners that are going to want to go, just that go compete in.
Right.
So you're going to have the people who are serious runners that will come out and run.
We do have. It's available to all, so it's not a timed event.
Oh, it's not. Okay,
it's not a timed event. So
okay.
Come out and do your best. That's what we tell the girls. Yeah. It's really about doing your best and crossing that finish line. And we say crossing the finish line is only the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
This is just giving girls a tangible sense of achievement. They've been working toward this goal, and so when they accomplish that goal, they're like, "What else can I do?"
Yeah.
And watching Darah, go boldly pursue her dreams and whatever's next. That's kind of what we want girls to see. That so much more is possible for them.
Darah, what is next? What's up next?
This is a great question.
Yeah.
I am planning to try out for a pro team to dance. So continuing to pursue my dreams of dance.
You're not going to let that just.
What pro team?
I'm going to try out for the Dallas Cowboys
cheerleaders.
Yes.
Look. I think we can all understand.
Right.
There's a certain there's notoriety, there's cachet,
that's the
prestige. That's the better word.
That is the one.
Sure.
That's the OG.
Yeah.
There have been LSU, I know Tiger Girls and Golden Girls that have gone on to dance for the Cowboys as well. So when's tryouts?
Tryouts start May 1st.
Okay.
So I was just showing them my costume. I have everything getting ready. I had headshots. So yes, please keep me in your prayers. And I'm really excited.
That means you'd move to Dallas.
I would.
Okay.
Yes.
How does the family feel about this?
Oh, they're all ready to pack up and go with
Really?
me. Oh, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
They're trading in the purple and gold for Cowboys gear. So.
Yeah.
Are you a Saints fan? Oh, you're breaking my heart. Oh, my
I can't be.
goodness.
Can't pass up that.
I tell you.
Chance to cheer for the Cowboys.
Gordon, what's next for you? I mean, this is a great opportunity, obviously, but you've done so much not for all sports, but for women's sports, and like we talked about some of the Olympic sports to give them so much attention, and you're doing another great thing here. What's like as you start to think like next? What's next?
I would think continuation the same. Plus, I'm starting to get more mature in this, older in this, and start to explore like if she makes a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, why wouldn't I continue some sort of sponsorship with her? Aaliyah Armstrong, who I was with this week, going to try for the Olympics this summer. And she goes, well, if I move and I turn pro, would you still work a deal with me? I'm like, well, sure I would. I mean, she's a great young lady.
Yeah.
So continuing to see how this kind of maybe continues after college careers is something we're exploring and looking at, all the while still continuing, obviously, LSU football, LSU baseball, those things. So at practice this morning, like I said, just watching the guys and seeing who looks good and how it's coming together. So excited.
Darah, I'm just going to say, the women's basketball team got him a national championship ring. I'm just saying, like Tiger Girls.
Yes, we got it. I know.
I like that.
We haven't gotten ours yet, so I can see what I can do. I can see what I can do.
Guys, it's a pleasure. Carly, Darah, Gordon, appreciate y'all so much. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
It's after further review. We'll wrap up hour number 2. By the way, one more reminder: Girls on the Run, SOLA.com. That's the website. Girls on the Run, SOLA.com. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. If you're thinking about selling your home, call our friend Darren James. Every year, the Wall Street Journal puts out their Real Trends list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. It's the top 1%. Last year, Darren James was number 54 on the list in the entire country. This is objective data. It's not just Matt telling you Darren's awesome. Like, Darren's pretty awesome. So if you're thinking about selling your home, call Darren James. Another thing we've seen recently, we've seen rates tick down a little bit. So with interest rates ticking down, the market is starting to get hot again. And every year in the spring, it's when you start to see the market flooded because it makes sense, right? Kids are out of school, people are moving for jobs. You tend to do it end of spring, summer. If you're thinking about selling your home, don't wait until the market's saturated and then there's more competition. Call Darren James today, 335-7666, 335-7666, or online at agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Mark your calendar and invite your friends as we celebrate the NFL Draft in style with the Boudreaux Electric ESPN Baton Rouge Draft Party live from Don Juan's Cigar Bar and exclusively on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Join us Thursday, April 25th at 7 p.m. and hang with the ESPN Baton Rouge Dream Team while including the finest cigars paired with signature cocktails. It's the Boudreaux Electric ESPN Baton Rouge Draft Party at Don Juan's Cigar Bar live on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. It's one look. I mean, that's one way to describe it. I mean, maybe they used AI to write this. I don't know. Or maybe Cade's just really proud of us.
Hester's not even going to be there.
It's fair.
He'd be the one guy you'd go Dream Team.
And the reason Hester's not there?
Because he's
going to be at the
physically
draft.
at the draft in Detroit.
Yeah.
Hester will be up there, courtesy of Sirius XM. But we will be at Don Juan. I'm excited about it. Should be talking to Justine over there next week about specials and giveaways. They usually do a great job of like giveaways with their vendors. And I mean, last year they had like grills and ice chests and all kind of cool stuff. And of course they'll have drink specials and cigar specials and everything. So if you're looking for something to do the night of the draft, Thursday, the first round of the draft, and we'll all be at Don Juan there in Town Center. So I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but T-Bob will be there.
That's a great thing.
That is totally subjective. I mean, it's completely in the eye of the beholder. But T-Bob and I will be there. Hunt. I know Paulie stopped by last year. Muse, I'm sure, will be there. Yep. I am hopeful that the Otter and Hanny stop. And now, last year, if I'm not mistaken, Otter was still doing his night show.
Yes, he was.
So
they
after
did it there.
His show,
last year they did it there.
He did, and then they came over. That's right. So no excuses this year. Whatsoever. He'll be done with his show at 1 o'clock. So Otter and Hanny should be there as well.
Island Hanny, more specifically, is who we need.
We need Island.
We need Island Hanny.
We need Island.
Where's my drop? Where's my drop?
Oh, give me an
I think this is it. I think this is
let's
it.
see.
Speaking
of
English,
I'm not pushing that. That one's good anyway.
That one's good
I
too.
just like that one anyway.
Speaking of English, I'm not pushing Napier.
I thought that was our Island Handy drop. It must have got moved. I'll get it back on there.
Oh my God. Richard Condon has an absolutely uncanny ability to push anybody. Charles Hannegriff is one of the most docile humans you'll ever meet. It takes a lot. I mean, Hanny lives in this range emotionally. You know, like he lives in this range. It's what makes him the greatest radio post-game host ever. Because no matter if LSU wins by 1 million or loses by 1 million, like Hanny doesn't move out of this zone. If the caller is calling up saying fire everybody or he doesn't move out of this zone. And Richard Condon got Charles Hannegriff to yell at him on the radio. Play it again.
Viscery.
Speaking of English, I'm not pushing Napier.
You can hear like this guttural yell, like his voice is trembling. Play it again.
Speaking of English, I'm not pushing Napier.
Like when he yells Napier, you can just hear it rattle. You hear the mic rattle. That's so good.
Speaking of English, I'm not pushing Napier.
It's the most beautiful thing. Oh, man. Okay. I'm supposed to tell you about relief windows right now, but I just want to keep hearing that drop. Relief windows. ReliefWindows.com. Energy efficient replacement windows. Beautiful intruders. Oh, honest to goodness, true story. I walk out of my house this morning. I'm getting Drew in the car to bring him to school. I open up the garage, and my next door neighbor, today, my next door neighbor, as I'm putting Drew in the car, I open up the garage, Relief Windows truck. They were doing an install. I didn't even know they were doing it. So it isn't like he came over and was like, oh, Matt, they sponsor your show. No, like, they're just the best. It's Relief Windows. Windows, door, siding. Oh, yeah. They do indoor shutters as well. Give our friends at Relief Windows a call. They're just the best. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Experience quality service. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
If it's free, it's for me. Come on, hey!
All right, let's get Tigers in the pros going here. I found the Island Handy stuff, by the way. Josh Smith last night for the Texas Rangers getting another start at third base.
I'm sorry, I was reading Twitter. Say it again.
Josh Smith for the Texas Rangers getting another start at third base last night. Goes 1 for 4, raises the average to 333, scored a run and drove in a run as well. Fired up to see him getting regular playing time and showing everybody he's a great player because he is. Alex Bregman last night, 2 for 4 for the Astros, scored a run in that ball game. Had his second double of the year. That bat continues to come along there for Bregman. Switching gears to the National Basketball Association. Cam Thomas dropping 20 like it's a regular thing because it is. 23 points off of 7 made shots. 5 of those were threes, by the way. Added 4 rebounds. And the Nets, they won a basketball game. Doesn't happen often. Naz Reid, fresh off an ejection.
Should have stayed.
Hey, he wouldn't have had such a short fuse if he would have stayed. He would have stayed in the ball game. 13 points, 6 rebounds for Naz last night. The Nuggets took down the Timberwolves. And how about this? Jaden Daniels. There's all this talk about the Minnesota Vikings, and they want a quarterback, and they're going to try to move up. They've scheduled a private workout with Jaden Daniels. That just makes his pre-draft process even busier. He also has visits with the Giants lined up, the Commanders next week, and the Patriots. He was in New England earlier this week, and now the private workout with the Giants. To Augusta National we go. Sam Burns. He's through 7 holes. He's got some work to do. 1 over par. Started his day birdie, but followed that up with a double bogey on the par 3 4th and a bogey on the par 5 5th. So sitting at 1 over par through 7 holes, tied for 43rd. That is Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. If you're thinking of buying a ring, if you're thinking of popping the question, go to the place that's helped all of Louisiana get engaged for 40 years. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're online. They got locations all over, 2 in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, Shreveport. Look, when you buy diamonds for 10 locations, you're going to get the best deals because you're buying in bulk. And, of course, you're also going to get the best diamonds. And what that also means for you is if they don't have what you're looking for, they can find it, or they can custom make whatever piece of jewelry you want. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They want her to be thrilled. They'll even take exchanges. If she's not thrilled, they'll take an exchange. They'll take it back, a return. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Check them out. Thrill her with a gift in the red box. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. I was not mourning OJ earlier today because OJ Simpson died, and, good riddance. And somebody went...
Twitter. Oh, no, not Twitter. Hey, X world.
Somebody went on my Twitter and said, "Long live Juice. He will be deeply missed," with a bunch of emojis. So I quote tweeted and said, "No, he won't." And then Papa Perk at James Jetson 3 said to me, "He's doing it again. He's showing us your true colors." I assume that that's implying that because I'm white and OJ's black that I'm a racist. I can infer by several of the other tweets that he put, "No, I'm just not going to mourn a man who savagely murdered 2 people and got away with it. If that's my true colors, I'll own that. And if you're someone who is going to defend and deify a man who savagely murdered 2 people and got away with it because he is a black man, then you are an idiot. In no reality should that ever be something that's acceptable. If you're going to celebrate a man who murdered 2 people and got away with it, there's words I would like to say right now that I can't because they're not allowed on radio. Hour 3 next.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown, Pro Football Hall of Famer, actor, notorious accused murderer, and convicted felon OJ Simpson has died of prostate cancer. He was acquitted after being charged with the murders of his ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ronald Goldman in 1994. ESPN's Jeremy Schaap.
It was a huge circus. I wouldn't say it was unprecedented, but it kind of elevated it to new heights.
Jeremy Schaap on Greeny. Simpson died in Las Vegas. He was 76. Ippei Mitsuhara, Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, is now accused of bank fraud. Federal authorities accuse Mitsuhara of stealing more than $16 million over 2 years from Ohtani to pay off his gambling debts. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Celtics guard Drew Holiday signs a 4-year, $135 million contract extension. First round of the Masters continuing right now on ESPN. Bryson DeChambeau, the leader after shooting a 7 under 65 today. Scottie Scheffler at the moment just one shot back.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You see. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Busy night. Pels are back on the floor tonight at the Kings. Of course, the Pels are in the 6th seed right now in the Western Conference. So with 3 games to play, you got to keep Phoenix at arm's length here. And you've got, obviously, a game tonight in Sacramento, and then you're going to play at Golden State, and then you wrap up the regular season at home against the Lakers, which, by the way, we found out today is going to be an ESPN. It'll be on Bally. It'll also be the national broadcast on ESPN as well to wrap up the regular season. So 3 games to go. The Pels a half game ahead of Phoenix, so got to keep that pace. Just keep 3 games to go. Stand to reason that if you get 2 of them, you're going to be able to keep Phoenix at bay, barring them not winning out. So we'll see. 3 games to go for the Pels, trying to avoid the play-in. LSU trying to avoid missing postseason play altogether. Series win in Knoxville would go a large way to getting that jump started. Our buddy Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, good enough to join us. He's on Twitter at Kendall Rogers. Y'all give him a follow. How are you, dude?
I'm doing all right. I hope you guys are doing better after the weekend.
Man, I don't even know what to say anymore. We keep waiting for this team to find the spark, the thing, whatever, and it just hasn't been there. It sounds like Jay is going to make some pretty drastic changes this weekend to see if they get some jump started. Kendall, what probability would you put? Like, how realistic is it to think this LSU team, with all their struggles, could go on the road and take a series at Tennessee?
I mean, I wouldn't put the percentages at any better than probably 30%. But here is the thing about Lindsey Nelson Stadium. If there's a ballpark in the SEC that could be an equalizer, it's that one. It's a ballpark where pretty much anybody can run into a ball and they can leave the yard. So I actually think in terms of places they could go this weekend to play, that would be one of the ones I would pick, just because, again, that ballpark can kind of equalize things a little bit when it looks like one team might have a huge advantage over the other, which I don't think Tennessee has a massive advantage over LSU, but they're clearly playing at a much higher level at this point.
The real challenging part about it, though, is Tennessee gets to play in that park as well, and LSU's pitching hasn't been great.
Correct.
So, like, you're just as liable to give up double-digit
Well,
runs.
neither has Tennessee, though.
So,
yeah, I mean, if you look at Tennessee's conference numbers, I mean, they're not incredible. I mean, Drew Bean threw really well last week, and it was more vintage Bean, but, like, they haven't pitched at a high level either for the most part.
Let's go there then if we can. It sounds like from the Tennessee perspective, they're going to leave Friday TBA, and LSU is going to switch things up and go jump Holman TBA. How do you think with the pitching matchups being the way they are, Kendall, where is the opportunity for LSU?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big opportunity for me is in the opener and the third game. I think if you look at I don't know if Tennessee's going cause it. I don't know if they're going to throw A.J. Russell up there in the opener. I don't know what they're going to do, but I do know this. I do know they've been hit, consistently outside of Drew Bean. So I think offensively, I think LSU can score some runs on them. I think it's really interesting that Jay did move Gage Jump to the front of the rotation. What that tells me, honestly, just from afar, is that he really wants to find a way to at least steal a game, and I think steal a game. But he wants to make sure they can have a good chance to win one game this week. In which, if you put a Holman in a security blanket spot, that's a really good spot for him. But I think if you look at Gage, I think the big thing with him is when he's on, he's got actually a really good breaking ball. So I wonder if Jay kind of looks at the matchups and wonders, can maybe with a lefty that relies heavily on a breaking ball, maybe we can throw him on a Friday in an opener and win that game. And all of a sudden, we're in a really good spot if Holman's waiting in the wings after a win.
They've tried just about everything, Kendall. From pitching rotation, batting line. I mean, we saw Bear Jones lead off the other night. He hit 3 homers, which is incredible.
I mean, that's what I expected coming into the season. I don't know what's more surprising, Bear Jones in leadoff or Todd Peterson hitting a home run.
Ted Peterson.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
What's great about it, too, man, it's like he's got – I think he –
Did you see it coming?
No, I'm not going to say he saw it coming, but what he's done clearly is he's hovered the mouse over that drop. So if ever it's there, all he's got to do is hit the mouse. I'm assuming that's what you do.
That's what I
Well,
did.
that's how you know Moose's a professional.
Thank you, Kendall. I don't get that a lot on this show, so thank you. I
Kendall,
appreciate that.
What I'm going to do for you, Kendall,
You're welcome.
I'm going to clip Musso trying to do a promo read earlier this show. I'm going to send it to you, and then I'll let you reassess what you just said right there. He is
okay. Please do. I will say this on a serious note, though. We laugh at Bear Jones being leadoff, but the dude did have 4 hits and 6 RBIs in his first appearance in the leadoff inning.
Hey, man.
Maybe that's just what the world's been waiting on.
Hey, the Yankees put Aaron Judge in the leadoff spot. So what do I know?
You never know.
I mean,
you got to try something. On a more serious note, it was good to see Jake Brown get a couple of big hits the other night, a couple of big RBIs. He's a guy. Obviously, he's been injured all year long, but we thought big things about him. The other guy for me, it's like a broken record at this point. And at this point, I'm not expecting him to turn the corner. But Paxton Kling, my man, let's step up here, my man. Down the stretch, LSU's going to need him.
In the last handful of games, Kendall, he's actually started to hit the ball better. So
he had a couple of hits the other night.
Yeah, man. And the big difference you could see it is he's using the middle of the field and going the other way. It's just he's not he's not up there just free swinging, trying to pull everything. And, well, anyway, I mean, I'm not a hitting coach, but there are some things that are obvious.
Here's the thing about Paxton. Here's the deal about Paxton. This isn't, I mean, none of us were fair in this, is we were thinking like, hey, if he could be a fraction of Dylan Cruz, you know how many players in college baseball that would love to be a fraction of Dylan Cruz? So, just putting those two names together probably wasn't fair to begin with.
No, that's a very, very fair comp. So LSU and Tennessee this weekend is one to keep an eye on. What is it's odd, Kendall, you don't have multiple ranked-on-ranked series in the SEC in a given weekend because it feels like the whole league is always ranked. The one is Arkansas against Alabama. We kind of keep looking at teams like Bama and I guess Kentucky at this point. If you ask, are they real? I mean, I don't know how you deny that at this point. But what opportunity do you think Bama has this weekend against the Hogs?
Yeah, I mean, they're in a situation where they really need to win the series. I'm not saying they're going to miss the postseason or anything, but I mean, if they lose the series, you look at the remaining schedule, it's difficult. And so I think anytime you're at home, you need to find a way to still win. They're kind of due a little bit. But their whole team, their whole pitching staff, frankly, is kind of relying on Ben Hess to have a really good start. If he has a really good start, they tend to have a really good weekend. Kentucky, for me, does look legit. I would say, and I said this last week in Auburn, they won one game. They were in a slugfest in Game 2, then got blown out in Game 3. But I do think Auburn is dangerous at home just because of their offense and Cooper McMurray. But Kentucky, man, the thing about them is they know who they are, and they're going to play great defense up the middle with Grant Smith, Emilian Petre, Devin Burks behind the plate. They play really good defense. They know what their offensive plan is going to be, no matter who the pitcher is. And the best thing for them is they've got a lot of experience. And you have those three things in college baseball, you're going to win a lot of games, and you're going to win a lot of games despite the fact you might not have as much talent as a Florida or LSU.
Kendall, it's a bit odd to see Arkansas and Kentucky each with a 3-game lead in their respective division right now. If you looked at the end of the season and you win a division by 3 games, maybe that's not terribly surprising. But to have that kind of lead through just 4 weeks is a little surprising. In either the East or the West, is there a team that you look at and say, okay, that team has a chance based on what's ahead to maybe make up ground and maybe catch either Arkansas in the West or Kentucky in the East?
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee would be a team to keep an eye on just because I do think they're a club that's capable of rattling off a lot of wins. Now, they're going to have to pitch better, but they're more than capable of rattling off a lot of wins. I think you look at A&M and its remaining schedule with Vandy at home this weekend. I actually think they match up really well with Vandy at home. The wind's supposed to be blowing out. I don't think Vandy matches up very well with teams like that. So they have Vandy at home. They go to Bama. They host Georgia, have LSU, then Ole Miss and Arkansas. So, I mean, they're in a situation where if they win the series they're expected to win, then that Arkansas series end of the year ends up being a big-time showdown. That's a final week in a conference play. So I would say A&M and Tennessee would be the ones for me.
A couple more before you go. From our perspective here, everyone's looking and saying, all right, you've recalibrated your goals for LSU, but how do they get into the postseason? Sure. Would 14 SEC wins be enough, you think, in this year to get them in?
Yeah, so I went through all of LSU's remaining series a couple of nights ago, and I think my conclusion on I thought it was a very conservative basis was, I think it was 12 or 13 wins going into Hoover. So what you're probably in a situation a lot like, I'm trying to think, was it A&M last year? They had to win like a game or two in Hoover, and they ended up winning like 3. But I think they're one of those teams that they're going to go into Hoover, and as long as they just win 1, they're going to be very safe. If they don't win any, they're probably still in. But that's where I'm thinking they're going to be. I feel like this team has a run in them. I'm not saying they're going to have some run that's going to end up in Omaha. Mm-hmm. Trust me, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is they have not played anywhere near the level that they can play all year long, and it's got to be coming at some point. Maybe it's, once they host a team like A&M or something where they just kind of the last 2 weeks of the season get on a roll a little bit. I don't know, but I think it's coming at some point.
Do you think the argument that this team sort of mirrors Tennessee a year ago holds water?
It does. But here's the thing, and I know this sounds really weird. Like, it's like, well, why don't they just do it now? But I think if this team, with 3 weekends remaining, senses that they may miss the postseason, I think you're going to see another gear out of them. And again, it's frustrating as an LSU fan to go, well, dude, why don't they have this kind of urgency now? But it's like human nature when your back's against the wall, like you kind of just go all out, right? Like you just do whatever you can do. And I do feel like if the team's in that situation, they're going to play really well the last few weekends.
The runway's getting shorter, certainly, and this is a difficult
No
task.
question. They need to win a game this weekend. If they don't win a game this weekend, I mean, the pathway becomes more difficult because that prediction that I had was based off of winning a game this weekend. If you don't do that, my prediction is probably more like 11 wins going into Hoover, and at that point, you're betting it on your horse a little bit.
Yeah, the math works against you. So if you
Correct.
manage to go if you go win this. So we talked about Tennessee because they were 5-10 last year at the halfway point. And they ended up winning 16 league games, and we all know went to Omaha. They figured it out.
Yeah.
But really, for LSU, if that math is going to work, it involves winning the series this weekend. Or otherwise, you're going to have to find a way to sweep a couple down the line. But
I feel like that Tennessee team is in a much better spot on the mound than LSU is right now.
fair,
though.
Absolutely fair. Certainly based on history and what they've shown this year, that's completely fair. He's Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. It's preeminent college baseball site. If you love college baseball, that's just where you go, d1baseball.com. He's on Twitter at Kendall Rogers. Thanks as always, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks, gentlemen. Y'all have a good weekend. Thank you.
Be well. It is after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. The debt is due. Mama Scone next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel and the Watermark Hotel, two amazing hotel properties, Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. A couple of great events coming up. Love telling you about the Renaissance with the evenings at the Renaissance. This Friday is the event with Sugarfield Spirits. So, again, that's tomorrow over at the Renaissance Hotel from 6 to 8:30. So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow evening on Friday and you're tired of doing the same old thing that you always do, get on by the Renaissance Hotel, Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. It's an awesome spot right there. Bluebonnet, near I-10. You can't miss it. You walk into the lobby, big, gorgeous, sprawling, spacious lobby. Tallulah's around the corner, and you'll see it, the indoor-outdoor flow, comfortable bar seating. They've got tables around the bar as well. If you want to go outside and enjoy this beautiful spring weather, they've got a gorgeous water feature with fire in it as well to enjoy your cocktails with our friends from Sugarfield Spirits. Don't miss a night of exceptional spirits and cocktails Friday night at the Renaissance Hotel.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, we're glad you're rolling along with us here on this Thursday edition of AFR. We'll get some Pels Kings preview here in a bit. Thanks for being aboard with us here as we drive you home. Every year it has become tradition on this show that around tournament time, to prove that you need know nothing about college basketball to have success in a bracket challenge, which is why I don't care how your bracket is doing, which is why, listen, you can say all you want. When people come around that Thursday, Friday, how's your bracket doing? Nobody cares. I don't care about your bracket. Nobody cares about your bracket. Nobody wants to hear it. When you ask someone how the bracket's doing, that's just your way to enter a conversation, tell people how your bracket's doing. Nobody cares. Because nobody know nothing about none of these teams that get in the bracket. All right? You should know anything. Tell me one player on St. Mary's team this year.
No.
Yeah. That's exactly my point. Tell me one player on Gramblin's team. That's what I thought.
No.
That's my point. Ain't nobody know nothing.
Grambling was in the tournament?
Yeah, they won a swag. Paul, what's wrong? Paul, check your boy over there. What are we talking about over here?
There were 68 teams in this thing. I'm not going to remember every single one of them.
They're from Louisiana.
That's true.
I don't know why you hate the SWAC.
I don't hate the SWAC.
It's pretty obvious
don't
why
do
you hate the
this.
SWAC.
Don't do that.
That's why you hate the SWAC.
Do not do that.
Well, last year my mom beat me in the bracket challenge, and she gloated for an entire year. Well, I'll tell you what, payback is a bitch. We welcome aboard my mom, Darlene Francis Mumford Moscona, a.k.a. Mama Scone, here on AFR. How are you, loser?
Is that any way to talk to your mother?
Yes, because this isn't about talking to my mother. It's about talking to my competitor. And I took your face and rubbed it in the dirt. How you like that?
Huh?
How you like
What?
that?
I don't like that.
I didn't think so. Actually, when I called you earlier today, would you like to tell everybody how our conversation went?
Yeah, you said, Mom, I want to talk to you today. You want to go on the air today about our bracket challenge? And I said, oh, it's over. I didn't even know when. I said, when did it end?
Monday. Yeah, the championship game was Monday. So
I had no clue. Who won?
It was UConn.
Oh.
Yeah, UConn. You ever heard of them?
Yes, I have heard of UConn.
Yeah, where are they? Where are they located?
Connecticut.
Where in Connecticut?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Do you know their mascot?
No.
Yeah, they're the Huskies. You know their coach?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, Danny Hurley. You know who was the champion last year?
I forgot.
UConn.
Nope.
UConn. It was UConn.
Oh, they won last year?
Yeah, they went back to back.
Oh. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Good for me too, because on the leaderboard this year there are 597 entrants into our bracket challenge, and your boy Scone here finished 64th out of 597. I'm not telling you I need to take a victory lap over that. It ain't great, but still not bad, right? It was in the top. Was at top 10% there, thereabouts, close to it. Mama Scone 104. How about that?
I looked it up.
How about that?
Man.
Well, actually,
That's pretty
Mom,
bad.
no, as I look at it, with 597 total entrants, and with you having picked St. Mary's to win it all and they lost in the first round, to still finish 104th is kind of remarkable. The other 493 scrubs who finished behind you should be ashamed. Should be absolutely ashamed of themselves that they finished that far behind you in this thing when you didn't even know the tournament was going on. You didn't know when the championship game. You don't know anything about UConn, who's the most dominant champion we've seen in 30 years, and yet you still beat 493 people in this thing.
Well, I guess that's pretty good, but
But you didn't beat me.
That was the main thing. I didn't beat you.
So, you going to wear some hot wings? You going to eat some hot wings? What are you going to do?
No, we didn't bet anything.
You going to pay me $1 bajillion?
I don't have a bajillion.
Here's what I would like for you to do. I would like you to acknowledge that I am your favorite child, better than Brian Anthony Moscona and Alicia Moscona Miller.
You are my favorite child named Matthew.
Nope, that's not it. You threw in a qualifier, and I do not like that. I am the winner of this bracket challenge, and I loved all of y'all equally. That is such a lie. We all know you love Brian the most.
I don't.
Yes, you do. And then Alicia's next, and they might be tied. What we know is that I'm last. That much we know. See, look, you heard the pause. Did you look at it? Did you hear the pause? Hey, Muse.
Because
Muse.
you get me so exasperated whenever you start that. Because
Muse.
it's not true.
Muse.
Yes.
Does your mom, who's lovely, what's her name again?
Marilyn.
Marilyn Musso. I knew that. Marilyn Monroe Musso. That's her name.
That is not her name.
That's her name.
No, it's not.
Who is Marilyn's favorite child?
Me.
See?
Absolutely.
Are you the only child?
No, ma'am. I'm the youngest.
He's the youngest. But
the
everybody has a favorite. Parents have a favorite. Like, we know Erica, is Tanya's favorite. We all know that. They know it. Barry loves Jennifer the most. That's my sister, my father-in-law. Like, we all know it. It's okay, Mom. Like, I know you love Brian and Alicia more than me. This is my one instance, though, to win, to get a one-up on them.
Oh, I hate when you start that because I don't love any one of you. I have different relationships with all of you, but I don't love you all any different.
You know what that sounds like?
What?
You know what that sounds like, Muse?
What does that sound like?
So it sounds like a convenient way to say, I love them more than I love you.
It's not true.
I love you all differently. I love you the same, but I love you for different reasons.
It's true. No, I didn't say that I love you for different reasons. I said I have different relationships with each of
different
you.
relationships. So tell me the reasons that you love me. That are better than. So you see how quiet she is? She has no answer.
I'm trying to think of.
She's trying to think of them. Like, is this not valid? Hey, there are people in this room.
You were putting me on the spot.
Musso is laughing his ass off. Is this not validating my point? Hey, Mom, the woman who gave me birth, my mother. Tell me the reason you love me. Silence. I mean, you think now
because you are my child. That's why I love you. Just like I love Brian and Alicia because they are my children.
I asked you to give me reasons, the things you love about me, and you blanked. I got nothing.
I loved it. Okay, because you were smart, you are successful.
And now we know she's lying.
No, you are smart.
Oh, I'm not
than me,
smart,
for sure.
Mom. I just play a smart guy on the radio.
No, but you're very smart, Matt.
You saw my ACT scores.
Well, you're smarter than me, Matt. I don't even remember what your ACT scores were.
Not
it was
good.
A long time ago.
It was great in like English and reading comprehension.
And
right,
look
like
at
through the roof.
Yes.
And then my my science and math was like a 13.
I don't even know what the best score is.
36.
I didn't go to college.
36 is a perfect on the ACT.
Okay.
Yeah. And I got like in the science and the math part, I got like a 13. I was not.
And so you went into the right major.
No doubt. No doubt. You nailed that one, Mom. That's what a good mom does. She props you up in spite of all your faults. Even after you say, I crushed you in the bracket challenge. I rubbed your face in the dirt.
Well, what did you just do to me? You said the same thing to me.
No, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I just said to you. That's what I'm saying, yes.
Oh, I thought you said I said that to you.
No, I just said that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I still love you, even though you said all of that ugly stuff to me.
What ugly stuff did I say to you?
That you crushed me and rubbed my face in the dirt.
Oh, that's not ugly. That's just a fact. What's he talking about? That's my 91-year-old grandfather, the peanut gallery in the back. What's he talking about?
Oh, there's a 91-year-old man here who wants to know if you love him or why you love him.
Me or you?
You.
Oh, I love Gramps. Gramps is a G. Are you kidding me? My grandfather's the coolest guy ever. Like, Gramps is 91. Like, I'm going to go over there tonight. He already told me, he's like, come over and make some Sazeracs. We're going to make Sazerac cocktails. We're going to hang out. He's going to tell me awesome stories. Gramps is a G. Guy would roll around like 3-piece suits doing sales calls all over the country. Guy's awesome. Guy had like a 12-foot bar in his den at his house. I mean, where I came from. I mean, we're kindred spirits, he and I.
You're kindred spirits, Daddy. He said, is it because he taught you how to make drinks?
That's a big part of it. And I'm basically inheriting everything from his bar now. It's great. That's why I love him. That's why I love him. Okay. We've now established that my mom likes Brian and Alicia more than me. That I am not smart, and that my grandfather and I have a great relationship because we make drinks together. That is our family dynamic. That's what we've determined today.
Oh, Daddy's sitting in the car listening to this.
That doesn't surprise me at all. He's probably laughing.
He's in the garage.
Too. Now, Mom, I'll say this.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I am Dad's favorite.
Your dad's favorite?
I think so. Okay. Now, Alicia maybe might be encroaching a little bit, because she's like the daddy's little girl, right? And so I think there's that dynamic there. But I really think I edge her out a smidge. I get him tickets to sports stuff, and we've done sports travel stuff a lot, and he coached my teams when we were little. So I think I'm Dad's favorite, but I'm your number 3.
That is just not true. I don't put a number on y'all. I love you all equally.
Hey, let's do a poll question on Twitter. Who does Mama Scone love more? Brian, Alicia, Matt?
They don't know everybody. They don't know all those people.
Well, Mom, it's just a Twitter poll. It doesn't really matter. It's not like this is going to be a grand inquisition here. Anyway.
Oh, Lord.
Well, this is my...
Look, I made a special trip back to Costco today for you.
Oh, thank you so much for going. She went to go get Drew's food. So thank you so much for going. I appreciate that. Just let me know how much you need to Venmo you. But this is your punishment for losing to me, is you had to endure this radio segment right here.
Yeah, that is a punishment.
You know, Mom,
because,
you could have
because it's not true. That's why.
Well, you could have just said
that you're my favorite?
Yes, and this would have been over.
So you want me to lie?
That's for you to... Oh, yes, we finally got some truth, Muse. How about that?
I caught that a little bit there. I'm not going to lie.
No, I'm not saying that you're not my favorite because I said I love all of y'all equally. I don't have a favorite.
Cat got your tongue there?
If the cat got my tongue, I wouldn't be saying anything. Oh, Matthew, George, Moscona. Now, everybody knows your full name. Matthew,
I'm good
George,
with that.
Moscona.
My middle name is George. I love my name. I love my name.
Grandpa. After your great-grandpa.
Yeah, my great-grandpa. Yeah. Okay, I guess we're done. That's enough torture for you. Our audience has probably all quit and left, and they're like, how in the world? And every time we do this, people, I think, come away with a feeling or maybe a grand question of how in the world someone as nice and sweet as you could have birthed and raised me.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know where it
really
went wrong.
weird juxtaposition where I am actually like a physical manifestation of you, yet this is just we're so very different, I guess.
Yeah, we are very different.
But on this day, I am your favorite. That's my mom, Mama Scone, a.k.a., actually, Darlene Francis Mumford and Moscona, a.k.a. Mama Scone, who comes on here every year to do the bracket challenge despite hating basketball, hating the squeaky shoes, knowing nothing about any of the teams or even that the championship game was on Monday. But she still beat more than 400 of you chumps in the bracket challenge. So step up your game, idiots. How about that?
You got to talk nice to people.
No, Mom, talking nice to people is overrated. You got to be honest with people. That's what people want to hear. Okay, I got to go. We're late for a break. Thank you, Mom.
Okay.
I love you. I'll see you later.
Love you. Bye.
Okay, that's my mom. It's AFR. We'll knock out a quick break. Stay here.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area: Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Y'all, the rain from yesterday is past. The weekend weather is actually looking really good as I look at the forecast for the next few days. Saturday, high of 82, low of 51, sunshine and beautiful. It's a great opportunity to get by Clegg's Nursery and just plant something. Beautiful flowers, Clegg's Nursery. Plants or shrubs, maybe some privacy shrubs, Clegg's Nursery. You want to plant a fruit tree, Clegg's Nursery. Something your family will enjoy for generations as it grows, Clegg's Nursery. If you need soil or mulch, bag or bulk, Clegg's Nursery. If you need things to keep pests away like mosquitoes or roaches or other things, Clegg's Nursery has it all. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area for more than 60 years. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just...
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, Pels are on the floor tonight against Sacramento. It's a 9 o'clock Central Time tip. This West Coast road swing has the Pels playing these late games. It is a TNT broadcast, so it's a national broadcast. For those who don't have access to Bally, everyone will have access to this ball game tonight on TNT. And look, they're all obviously huge at this point because, as we've talked about for weeks now, the Pels are trying to avoid the play-in. They're trying to make the play-off. So the top 6 make the playoffs, and then obviously the next 4 teams all battle for the play-in to be the last 2 spots into the play-in. So as it stands right now, both the Lakers and the Warriors are locked into the play-in. So, they've clinched play-in berths. So where it stands right now is you have the Pels, the Suns, and the Kings all vying for the last spot in the playoffs, again, to avoid having to go through the play-in. The Pels, as it stands today, are at 47-32. They're in the 6th seed. They're a half a game ahead of Phoenix. So, excuse me. So the same number of wins. Pels are 1 game ahead in the loss column. And then Sacramento is 2 games behind New Orleans. So Sacramento tonight, with a win over the New Orleans, could make up a full game on the Pelicans then with 2 to play. So it's another reason why this is just a massive ball game, not only because you got 3 to go and you're trying to keep the Phoenix Suns at arm's length, but also because of who you are playing. It's one of the teams that's also trying to chase you down right now in the Western Conference. I'm honestly a little surprised to see the Pelicans as an underdog in this ball game, and it's close. Vegas line has Sacramento as a 1.5-point favorite. Now the Pels have been very bad in games decided by a possession. The Pels are 1-7 this year in games decided by 3 points or fewer. They're just not a team that's figured out a way to win these close games late. The good news is New Orleans and Sacramento have played 4 times this year. This is the 5th meeting. New Orleans and Sacramento have played 4 times this year. The Pels are 4-0 against the Kings, including wins in two wins in Sacramento back on December the 4th, 127-117. In that game, by the way, Brandon Ingram scored 30 points, and he's unavailable tonight. And the last time these 2 teams played, they played in Sacramento on January 7th, and the Pels blew the doors off of Sacramento 133-100, beat them by 33 points. So this is the 5th and final game of the season between these 2. Pels are 4-0 against Sacramento. It's a matchup they've dominated. It's a matchup where you like New Orleans. And I kind of think they got the wrong team favored in this ball game. We'll see if Jimmy has a thought on it. But both these teams are 5-5 in their last 10. But New Orleans has been so good on the road this season. 26-14 away from the blender. It's an oddity. And maybe as weird as this will sound, as much as we focused on New Orleans trying to push maybe when they were pushing for the the playoff, when it looked like they had a shot maybe to ascend to the 4 seed, which they were in the 4 seed before their homestand started. They went 1-5 in the homestand. We were looking at that going, and that'd be great because you'd have home court in a first-round matchup. Well, as odd as it is to say it, I don't know that that's a great advantage. New Orleans has been better away from home this year than they've been at home. They're 26-14 on the road this year. So, and by the way, they've won 4 straight road games. Now they're going for their 5th straight road win in this game tonight against Sacramento. So no BI. I get that. If Zion goes and is Zion, and you have some urgency, this is a game you should win against the team you've beaten in your previous 4 matchups this year. New Orleans, it's an oddity. Just there's some teams that you match up well against, like the Pels match up well against the Clippers for whatever reason, and they've owned that series. So this is one where I do expect New Orleans to win it. Again, it's a late tip. It's 9 o'clock. It's on the 9 o'clock Central, so it's 7 o'clock Pacific. So it's a late game, but it's the 9 p.m. tip on TNT. So if you're going to stay up and watch this one, you need some good vibes, and you need this team to go out and get this win tonight because as you kind of look ahead, you got 3 to play. Tonight against Sacramento, you're at Golden State, and then you're home against the Lakers to wrap up the regular season, and you're trying to keep the Phoenix Suns off your heels. The Suns have 2 games to play. They beat the Clippers last night. So the Suns are at the Kings, then at the Timberwolves. They should take care of the Kings. It'll be interesting to see if Minnesota at that point is playing for anything or if they rest starters at that point. So we'll see. But, I mean, you would love to think if the Pels managed to go 2-1 in their final 3, and if the Kings drop that last game against Minnesota, the Pels would lock themselves into the 6th seed. So it's where they stand right now. Suns with 2 games to go, a half game behind New Orleans. Pels with 3 games to go, so they can get some more distance tonight to get a full game distance between them and Phoenix if the Pels manage to take care of Sacramento tonight. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com, pure-restoration.com. It's Pure Restoration. I say it every day. Kill mold, remove odor, listen, other harmful pathogens. Yesterday, with all the awful weather that came through, unfortunately, there was a lot of water intrusion. A lot of people, no doubt, had water come into their home. Maybe you had a roof leak. Maybe it was into your walls. Maybe you, unfortunately, had part of your roof damaged and you have water in your attic. A lot of that can fester. It can grow black mold. Mold can spore. It can be in your walls. Maybe you don't even know it. A good telltale is look up at your air vent in your home or in any public building. If you see black specks by the air vent, that's mold. And it makes sense, right? You have condensation with humidity, meeting that cold air. Yeah, that can breed mold and grow mold. If you want to get rid of mold easily, efficiently, affordably, Pure Restoration is the best. It's a patented non-toxic dry fog. Great people. I'll tell you all the time about Jim Woodworth. He's an Air Force vet. Great dude who worked in recovery post 9/11. Came down this way, recovery post BP oil spill. Started Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com, pure-restoration.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. If you missed it early, we got Otter Locks coming up. We'll see what Jimmy's got for us. I'm sure he'll take a look at the Masters. Had some fun plays, some consensus plays for the Masters that he gave us yesterday. If you're playing along, we'll keep an eye on that throughout the weekend, no doubt. So we'll see what Jimmy's got for us tonight coming up here in a smidge. Also, if you weren't here earlier in the show, we learned that LSU's flipping their pitching rotation this weekend. So Gage Jump is going to go game 1 against Tennessee. Luke Holman will go game 2. And then game 3 is TBA. So, Jay Johnson is pushing as many buttons as he can to try to find that right mixture. But I'm firmly in the corner of, I think this is a weekend where he leans heavily on his youth. I think he's tried to give a lot of these veteran players their opportunities, and unfortunately, in too many instances, they haven't delivered, which is why you're 3-9. So if your veteran guys aren't going to take the bull by the horns, play the young guys with a high ceiling and see who's going to go make plays for you and help you win a series. I think that's what they're going to do this weekend. I think you're going to see some pretty significant changes in the lineup. I think, not to place it all at Braswell's feet, I think that's going to be a spot where you do see a change this weekend as well. So we'll see what Jay elects to do when the lineup gets posted tomorrow. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out our final break here. We'll come back. We'll do a little Otter Locks. We'll look forward to that with Jimmy here. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always...
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on this Thursday edition of AFR. One thing left to do, find out we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Of course, one thing Jimmy and I have in common, both patients of Dr. Blake Williamson's over at the Williamson Eye Center, but for very different reasons. I had LASIK and my guy Otter had that lens implant, so he didn't have to hold up his flashlight with glasses at the end of his nose looking at a menu when we go to order cockaboo anymore in Atlanta. Jimmy, how are you?
Remember those days?
I do. I miss you coming to media days. I would let you just take me to fine restaurants and order whatever it was on the French menu that I couldn't pronounce.
Oh, Coco Van. Bistro Nico is a great place. I mean, shameless plug, but my goodness. And it's not expensive. It is a great French restaurant in Buckhead, man.
I don't even remember what we paid. I don't even care. It was awesome. I just went Otter, just order. I can't read any of this. Just order and I'll eat whatever. I did. I was like, just order. I'll eat whatever you get.
You sure did.
Hey man, look, I know.
How about that Uber ride on the way home?
So here's the thing about riding in an Uber with Jimmy Ott. He will speak to you freely about the Uber driver with well within earshot of the Uber driver, who can very clearly understand what he's saying in not very kind terms about said Uber driver. It's not wait until you get out of the Uber while this man, who is a total stranger, still has your life in his hands. You're going to talk bleep about him. That's what riding in an Uber with Jimmy Ott is like.
Well, just a little bit. Probably not the wisest move, but you know.
Go to the Williamson Eye Center. That's a wise move.
Oh, my man, Dr. Blake, man. He was talking about doing games the Rougarou in the dim light with his readers. You know, with his pen. And he's like doing this. I'm like, Hate to be you, bro. Dr. Blake saved me, man. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing the flashlight and the readers, at Rufino's. I mean, the double barrel. Those days are in the rearview mirror. Custom lens replacement at the Williamson Eye Center.
What a guy. What a guy. Okay, what are we looking at tonight?
First of all, a little Masters update. Not the best day for some of our guys, but pretty good day and night. Last, 20 hours for our Nuggets Scheffler parlay.
Okay.
22-10. Scheffler started the day anywhere between plus $4.50 to $5 to win the Masters. He's 6 under. He's 1 stroke behind Bryson DeChambeau, 2 strokes ahead of everybody else. He is now plus 130.
Okay.
He's just over even money. It's almost Scheffler versus the field right now at a. So that's the big update there. And Denver overcame a second-half deficit to beat Minnesota for first place in the Western Conference. So they probably are going to have home court advantage throughout the Western Conference playoffs in the NBA playoffs. So good plus 22-10, alive and well.
Love it.
There.
Love it.
And Scheffler's going to be tough to beat, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no doubt about it. Got 2 plays for you. We
Okay.
go back to the NBA. I know. I go back on my word just 2 days later. Yeah, imagine that. But anyway, the Knicks and the Celtics. The Celtics are playing around.
1 minute remaining.
Around. They're just rested players. They don't want to get hurt. And even the guys that are playing tonight that aren't sitting, they're playing minimal minutes. Giving the Knicks -3 on the road at
plus
Boston.
3. Knicks plus 3.
They're plus 3?
Knicks are plus 3.
It's got to be -3.
Knicks, Jimmy, I'm looking at it. Knicks are plus 3.
Wow. Okay. Even though they may be playing more guys, I mean, we'll take them. I took them -3 to give you an idea. So,
Oh my God! Yeah, no, Knicks are. I mean, unless if something popped about who's available or not, but yeah, Knicks are plus 3.
And Baltimore Orioles, Grayson Rodriguez is really good, man. He's on the road at Boston. Boston was weak to begin with before they lost Trevor Story for the year. Take the Orioles minus the short number on the road again in Fenway.
All right, Baltimore -130. All right, Otter, where are you tomorrow? Oh, Rufino's Friday. All right,
Thanks,
man. All right, Otter, we'll see you. Muse, Paulie, thanks. Y'all have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Left the house today. Our power still wasn't back on in our neighborhood. Power went out yesterday morning about 9 a.m. with all the bad weather. Still was not restored as of this morning. I think we're back up now, but I don't have to worry about it because as soon as the power went out yesterday morning around 9 a.m., my Generac whole home generator fired up, and we've essentially continued to operate our lives as if nothing was different. I cannot recommend it highly enough. The bottom line is everyone that lives in South Louisiana on the 1012 corridor, we all want a generator. I mean, who wouldn't want a whole home generator? Of course you would. There's 2 questions. Can I afford it? Where do I buy it? Well, can you afford it? Our friends at Optimize have financing options that would meet literally any budget. So, yes, you can afford it. And why would you trust Optimize? Because they're Louisiana's #1 Generac dealer. All they do is sell, service, and install Generac whole home generators. That's why they're Louisiana's #1 Generac dealer. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.